A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour in Dixie with Barry Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This town has given me many unforgettable memories, but none clearer than the sight of Bing Crosby in blackface and sideburns, wearing a shirt that might have been made from one of Dorothy Lamour's sarongs, bicycling down a street on the Paramount lot, puffing gently on a pipe and warbling one of the tunes from Dixie. That was the day I wrote Santa Claus and asked him to bring us Dixie for Christmas. Bing, having just finished the picture Going My Way at Paramount, accepted Santa's invitation to go our way. And then the old gentleman delivered in prodigal style by bringing us Dorothy Lamour and Barry Sullivan in the same package. Barry is the promising young actor who makes his big-time debut in Paramount's Lady in the Dark. Dixie is the story of a song. It's been on the hit parade for about 100 years. And tonight you'll hear Bing sing Dixie and some of the other great hits of the picture. By bringing you tonight's play, I think Lux Flakes provides the perfect opportunity to relax before your last-minute Christmas shopping. For months now, the people of America have been accustomed to buying fewer things and making the old ones last longer. That's certainly much less fun than getting a new car, new clothes, a new refrigerator, or what have you. But it does represent a real contribution to the nation. And by helping to keep things looking new in the department of washable fabrics, Lux Flakes makes the whole idea easier to take. Now for something that's very easy to take. We raise the curtain on the first act of Dixie, starring Bing Crosby as Dan Emmett and Dorothy Lamour as Millie, with Barry Sullivan as Mr. Bones. In the period before the Civil War, a new form of entertainment flashed across the American scene, the minstrel show. This is the story of the first of the great minstrels, Daniel Decatur Emmett, who donned burnt cork and sang his way into the heart of a nation with his immortal song, Dixie. Daniel Emmett came from a peaceful little town on the Mississippi, peaceful and drowsy, except that on this Sunday afternoon, a fire has broken out in the big house on the hill.
Where's the fire?
The Mason place. Look at it go.
Well, get the fire wagon moving. Come on.
We can't. Dan Emmett's got the key.
What?
The key to the firehouse. Dan Emmett's got it.
Dan Emmett. Where's Dan Emmett?
Hey, Dan Emmett.
Has anyone seen Dan Emmett?
Where's Dan Emmett?
The key to the firehouse is resting comfortably in Dan Emmett's pocket. And Dan Emmett himself is resting comfortably on the riverbank with his banjo on his knee. And there's a girl beside him, listening with shining eyes as he sings.
Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always? If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always. No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at the sight of you, my heart begins to pound and pound. What am I to do? Can't I be with you? Sunday, Monday, or always?
Oh, Dan, that's the nicest song you've written yet.
You like it, Jean?
Sunday, Monday, or always.
Well, never mind the Sunday and the Monday part, but don't you forget about always. Hey.
What is it?
Thought for a second I smelled smoke.
Oh, Dan, you're always smelling smoke.
Yeah, I guess it's being head of the volunteer fire brigade. Job like that carries a lot of responsibility. Yes, sir. You got to be right up on your toes every second.
Dan, look. It is smoke.
Where?
Up there on the hill. Dan, it's my house.
Your house? Well, come on. I got to get over there. I got the key to the firehouse.
Might as well go home, Dan. She's burnt right out.
Yeah. Take the engines away, boys. Too bad.
Well, you certainly were a dang long time getting here. Now look at my house. Just look
We
at
couldn't
it.
help it, Mr. Mason. Dan had the key to the firehouse, and we couldn't locate him.
What, Dan Emmett?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Mason. There's not much left, is there?
Oh, yes, there is. Your pipe, Dan Emmett. I found it in what was the hall.
Let's see that. Well, it's my pipe, all right, but I don't remember leaving it there.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't, Father.
He certainly did. That's where the fire started.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mason. I'll pay you back when I can.
Well, the house happens to be insured.
Oh, then everything's all right.
All right. With me and my family out in the cold, you irresponsible pup. You're no good, and I don't ever want to see you around here or around my daughter again.
Father.
Now, Mr. Mason, I guess this isn't a very good time to bring it up, but I can't very well never see your daughter again. I'm planning on marrying her.
Marry my daughter?
Yes.
How could you support her?
Well, I'm not exactly destitute. I got $500.
That's no credit to you. Your uncle left you $550 8 years ago.
Well, I'm quitting my job in the feed store. I'm going to be an actor and a composer.
What?
Father, please.
Now, play actors make a lot of money, Mr. Mason.
Yes, the good ones do. But you start play acting, and in 6 months you won't have a cent left.
Oh, I think you're wrong there, Mr. Mason. In 6 months, I'll have twice as much money.
Well, you come back here in 6 months with $1,000, and you can marry Jean. And I'd rather cut off my right arm than have that happen. So you can see what I think your chances are.
All right, Mr. Mason, but you better start saving rice. You're going to need a lot of it 6 months from now.
Dan.
I'll be around tonight to say goodbye, Jean. I'm taking the next riverboat south.
Keep those stevedores moving there. Get that cutting aboard.
I looked off at Jordan, but what did I see?
Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, good afternoon.
I was on the upper deck, sir, listening to your singing. Very lovely indeed, sir.
Thanks very much.
You're a professional, no doubt?
Yes, of course.
I knew it. One professional can always spot another.
Here, you a play actor?
Mr. Bones, world's champion Bones player and unsurpassed on the concertina. No doubt you've heard of me.
Yes, of course.
I see you were foresighted enough to bring along our boxed lunch, sir.
Mm-hmm. My girl did it up for me. Where you been appearing lately, Mr. Bones?
Huh? Oh, I've been abroad the last 2 years, touring the continent. Command performances before royalty. Yes, a box lunch is a handy little thing to have on a boat, yes, indeed. Oh, but I'm interrupting your snack. Go right ahead. Do you eat, sir?
Oh, I can eat any time.
No, I wouldn't think of it. Go right ahead, please.
Well, if you don't mind,
Not
then
at all. It's too bad I didn't think to have my manservant fix one for me. Then I could join you.
Oh, say, I don't suppose you. Oh, no, of course you wouldn't.
May I inquire, sir, what I wouldn't do?
Well, I was going to ask if you'd care to dine with me.
No, thank you, sir. I'm dining with the captain.
Oh, I'm
However,
sorry.
if you insist, I won't disappoint you, sir. Chicken. Chicken, sir, is the thing I am fondest of in all the world. The provisions are all gone. We had quite an appetite, didn't we?
Yes, if we eat like that very often, you're going to gain a lot of weight.
Tell me, Mr. Emmett, in what theater do you next unleash that golden voice of yours?
Right now, I'm not working.
Well, don't you find that a bit awkward, being without funds?
Well, I had a little windfall from an uncle of mine.
Little windfall, or are you just being modest?
Well, it was only $500.
Well, after all, it's not really the money. It's just knowing that your uncle didn't forget you. Well, how shall we spend this pleasant afternoon? Would you care to play some cards? Not for money, of course.
No, I don't know much about cards.
Well, I don't know much about cards either. I just happen to have these with me. We'll play a very simple game. We'll cut the cards and the high man wins. Now, cut, sir. Your queen of hearts against my two of spades. You win.
I win?
Yes, let's try it again. Cut, sir. Ace of spades. Well, there's no use my drawing. You win again. Once more, sir. Thank you.
Oh, you got me this time. 7 of clubs.
And I have the 6 of clubs. Oh, by Jupiter, but you're lucky. You know, it's too bad we aren't playing for money. You'd make a fortune.
Maybe we better play something else, huh?
No, sir. I'm determined to win at this game. Just to put some incentive into it, Mr. Emmett, I'll play you for $1.
All right, put up your money.
Well, no, never mind that. I'll trust you. The king of spades. Now I've got you.
Whoop. The ace again.
Mr. Emmett, how do you do it? I'll tell you what. I'll play you for $10.
The same game?
Same game.
Oh, you may be sorry.
That could be. That could be.
Evening, sir. You seasick, sir?
Oh, no, steward.
Anything I can get for you?
Yeah, you can get me $500.
$500?
No, never mind. Come.
Excuse me, sir, but is these yours, sir? These cards under the napkin?
Take them away.
Yes, sir. Why, there's 6 aces of spades here.
There's what, 6 aces? Let me see.
Unless you was playing with 6 decks. It looks dishonest to me.
Steward, where's Mr. Bones' stateroom?
Mr. Bones, sir?
Yes, where is he?
Why, Mr. Bones got off back there at Martin's Ferry and took the fastest packet to New Orleans.
New Orleans, huh? All right, thanks. Mr. Bones! Hey, Bones! Hey, come here.
Why, it's Mr. Emmett.
Yes, it's Mr. Emmett.
A delightful surprise. Glad to see you in New Orleans. If you're going to be here long, you must look me up.
I've been looking you up for 3 weeks. Come here.
Mr. Emmett,
Stand still now. I want my $500.
$500?
Yes.
Are you by any chance referring to the money I won from you at
I'm
cards?
referring to the money you cheated me out of.
That's a very harsh statement, Mr. Emmett. Why do you make it?
Because I found 6 aces of spades on your chair after you left the boat.
Oh, well, hundreds of people have sat in that chair. Why accuse me?
Because you're a crook.
That, sir, is almost an insult. You say I cheated you, Mr. Emmett. I say I didn't. That settles it. Good day, sir.
Oh, no, you don't. I want my money, and I want it right now.
I'd be very glad to return the money to you to put an end to this bickering, but the sad fact is the money is gone.
Gone? All of it?
Every sou.
Well, I'm going to take it out of your hide.
Hold on, Emmett, hold on. If you're hungry, I'll get you a meal, a fine meal.
I thought you were broke.
Well, that has nothing to do with it. Help me find a cockroach.
I'm not that hungry.
You don't understand, sir. I find a nice, healthy cockroach and place it in my wallet. We go to a restaurant and order a fine repast. At the conclusion of the dinner, I take the cockroach from my pocket and deposit it on the plate. Then I leave the establishment in a huff.
You mean a hearse?
Oh, have no fear, sir. Come along. I've enjoyed many an exquisite meal with a cockroach.
Yeah, who was whose guest?
It's a delicious meal, wasn't it? Now, if there's anything else you want, we'll order it. I want you to be perfectly satisfied.
Don't you get the idea this cancels the $500 you owe me. You're going to pay back every cent. You got to go to work on the levee to do it.
Mr. Emmett, if you'll cease this petty persecution, I'll sponsor you in the theater. I'll make a place for you in my act. How's that?
I'd rather have the $500. Come on, get the cockroach out. Let's go.
Yes, Oh, wait, dear.
Huh? What's the trouble?
I can't find it.
Can't find what?
The cockroach. He's gone. Perhaps he's crawled on you.
What are we going to do?
Did you lose something, gentlemen?
Yes. As a matter of fact, yes, waiter. I seem to have misplaced my wallet.
And me too.
Both of you have lost your wallets?
I think we've been robbed, yes.
That, gentlemen, you should be ashamed to use. If I were going to steal a meal, I would have a more original approach.
Well, we did have.
I'll be glad to sign the bill and send you my check in the morning.
It won't be necessary. We can work out something right here. Oh, come on.
Let go of me.
No money, eh?
Oh, unhand me, you.
No wallet,
Let go of me.
Wonderful food, wasn't it? Did you have enough to eat?
Yeah, but I'd hate to have to do it 3 times a day.
This is my boarding house. It's not much of an establishment, but you're welcome to be my guest until we get set.
Looks great to me. All I want's a place to lie down and bleed.
Be very quiet now. Someone's sick.
just a minute, you.
Ah, Miss Cook.
Trying to sneak in again, are you?
Miss Cook, I'm glad I ran into you. I want you to meet a fellow artist of mine, the famous Mr. Dan Emmett. We've toured together.
From the looks of you, I'd say you toured several bars together.
Miss Cook is quite a wit. Well, come along, Emmett.
Just a moment, Mr. Bones. At the risk of being a bore, I'm going to ask you for your rent again.
Miss Cook, I've discussed that thoroughly with your father. He understands that when I've decided which local engagement to accept, I can reimburse him.
And just where do you think you're taking Mr. Emmett?
To my room.
Oh, no, you don't. You might have made a deal with my father for yourself, but one deadbeat per room is enough.
Now, wait a minute. How do you know I'm a deadbeat? I haven't been here long enough to be one.
Well, you can remove all doubt by paying your rent in advance.
Oh, well,
Mr. Bones.
Well, old-timer, delighted to see you. I want you to meet one of my colleagues, the famous Mr. Dan Emmett. Dan, this is Mr. Cook.
Well, Mr. Emmett, I trust that you're going to stay with us for a while.
Well, I thought I'd...
No, he isn't, Father. I'm sick and tired of this. Every room in this house is full of down-and-out actors who came to you and flattered you with a little theatrical talk and settled down to live off us.
Millicent, my child. Of course, we know that you don't mean that. You're tired out.
Of course I'm tired out. From sweeping and scrubbing and taking and sewing to pay the bills. We got to draw the line somewhere, and we might as well draw it through Mr. Emmett. I'd like to draw it right through Mr. Bones, too. He not only doesn't pay his rent, but he tries to kiss me every time he catches me in the back hall.
My dear, you forget you're very attractive, and actors are emotional people. Besides, Mr. Bones said he would pay us when he had an engagement. Now he has one.
Where?
While you were out this morning, a messenger came from the Maxwell Theater. The manager wants to try out your act tonight.
They've always loved me here in New Orleans. I imagine this engagement will be sensational.
Well, come on, then. Let's start putting our routine together.
Our routine? Mm-hmm. And why do you use the plural pronoun?
We made a deal. You agreed to take me in with you.
Oh, that was a hypothetical case. Sometime in the future, yes. Tonight, however, I am doing a single.
If you do, you'll be doing it in your underwear.
And what do you mean by that?
This is too good a chance to miss. We can get 2 jobs instead of 1. In fact, we can get 4 by using those 2 broken-down actors in room 6. That means 4 actors paying rent instead of none. So, Mr. Bones, you better change your mind if you don't want your clothes locked in your room.
Well, what do you say, Mr. Bones? Do we go with you, or do we lock you up?
Wait. What are you going to do about those black eyes you're wearing? Makeup won't cover those.
Don't expect a solution from me.
I know what you could do. You can't change the color of your eyes, but you can make your faces up to match them. Go as darkies.
Miss Cook, if you think the audience would stand for our masquerading as Africans, why, we'd be run out of the theater.
Well, I'd rather be run out of it than never get in there at all. Come on. Say there, Rastus, what do you do for a living?
What's that? What do I do for a living?
That's what I say.
Well, I do as little as possible.
Yuck.
Say there, Mr. Man, I bet you the lying with the lady.
That's what I is, brother, and you ain't just lying. She's from Missouri. You'd know it right away. She's from Missouri. Be careful what you say. Don't try to fool her. What a fool you'd be when she has those eyes that say, you gotta show me, we'll soon be sweethearts. Her glances tell me so. Yet when I ask her, she sighs and answers no. I don't believe her. I'll tell you why. She's from Missouri, but so am I. And not from any other place, because it's written on her face. And just as sweet as any rose, you'd be surprised at what she knows. I don't believe her. I'm gonna tell you why. She's from Missouri, but so am I.
Well, the act went all right.
Yeah, we're a hit, I guess. Booked for a run. Kind of nice of you letting me walk home with you.
Oh, it's not so nice. I'm just not letting you out of my sight till we settle the terms of your rent.
Oh, yeah.
On top of that, I just couldn't cope with Mr. Bones tonight. He has the instincts of a boa constrictor.
I knew he was a snake, but I wasn't sure what kind.
I have to fight him off 3 times a day.
Why don't you speak to your father?
My father?
Yeah.
He's about as much protection as a lace shawl.
You know, I have an idea that you're pretty able to take care of yourself, too.
I've been doing it since I was 9. How long have you been an actor, Mr. Emmett?
Not very long.
I didn't think so. An experienced actor would have kissed me before I'd gone 10 feet.
Well, I'm not that inexperienced. I thought of it before we'd gone 5 feet.
Then why didn't you? Why don't you?
I think we should have gone 5 feet further.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille presents Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour, and Barry Sullivan in Act 2 of Dixie. During this brief intermission, Sally wants to introduce a special guest.
For an impossible interview.
He certainly looks impossible to me, but this was your idea, Sally. He's your friend.
My friend? I should say not. He hasn't a friend in the world.
Well, speak up, man. Who are you?
Well, you know how stockings pop into runs sometimes for no reason at all, like this. Well, I'm the guy who pots them.
You wouldn't have a chance if some people weren't careless about washing stockings, rubbing them with cake soap or using strong soap. Then the threads get weak.
Then I come along and pop them, and they never guess what happened. Boy, oh boy, is that fun.
You're a mean man. Stockings are so precious these days.
That's what I like. A run. Makes people complain about the stockings.
And all the time, it may be because they've been washing stockings the wrong way. You don't do much business when girls lux their stockings every night.
No, I don't have any fun. Stockings last twice as long when they're luxed every night.
Of course they do. They stay elastic so they can stretch and spring back into place without breaking into runs.
Yes, that's why it pays to lux stockings nightly and never risk strong soaps or cake soap rubbing. Actual strain tests prove Lux cuts down runs over 50%. That's twice the wear with gentle Lux care. Don't waste Lux Flakes. Use all you need to get rich suds, but no more than you need. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Act 2 of Dixie, starring Bing Crosby as Dan Emmett and Dorothy Lamour as Millie, with Barry Sullivan as Mr. Bones. The minstrel show has been born in New Orleans. It's still only 4 men and burnt corpse, but the idea is catching on. Dan Emmett has plans now. 24 men on the stage at one time. Costumes, dances, funny sayings, and brand new songs. Bum 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 bum.
Hello.
Oh, good morning, Millie.
I hear you had standees at the theater again last night.
Well, we haven't had a vacant seat for the last 2 weeks. Bum bum bum.
Don't you ever get tired of working? You're at the theater all night. I shouldn't think you'd want to be writing songs all day.
Well, I'm not getting anywhere with this one. Tune keeps running through my mind, but I can't think of any words for it.
What you need is to relax. Why don't we take a walk this afternoon? It's a wonderful day.
Well, I don't know. That walking maybe it isn't so good. Hey, I smell smoke.
Smoke?
Hey, look out. It's my pipe on those papers.
Oh, Dan, don't burn yourself.
That's all right. Hey, that was close. I got into trouble like that once before.
Let me see your hand. Did you burn it?
Just a little.
Let me see. Oh, Dan, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not bad. Look. Hey, let go, will you? Let go of my neck.
Dan, kiss me.
Well, here we go.
Good morning.
Oh, Father.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was looking for Mr. Bones. He's going to enlarge his act, you know, and I might even consider going back on the stage myself. Oh, go right ahead with what you were doing. I'll see Mr. Bones presently.
He said for us to go on with what we were doing.
Millie, I think it's a pretty good thing he came in. See, I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm in love with Jean, and I'm going to marry her.
If that girl really meant anything to you, you couldn't kiss me like that.
Well, you sort of sneaked up on me.
Oh, did I? Well, I'm not going to sneak up on you anymore.
Hey, Millie.
Come on, the Virginia Minstrels. 24 men and 1,000 lamps. It's the biggest, it's the greatest, it's the most sensational new entertainment in the world. Opening tonight, the Virginia Minstrels.
Good luck, Father.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Good luck to all of you.
Thank you, my sweet. Thanks.
And I suppose, Mr. Emmett, if you are successful tonight, you'll be racing back to marry that girl of yours.
Yeah, we're sending for her to come here.
Oh, won't that be nice? Perhaps we can make it a double wedding. Mr. Bones and I are getting married, too.
We are? When did I ask you?
You didn't. But if you weren't leading up to it, you're a cad.
Well, I don't mind. At least we can try it for a while.
Well, aren't you going to congratulate us, Father?
Well, my little girl married. Seems only yesterday that you were in pigtails. My congratulations to both of you. Which ones you say you were marrying?
I believe she designated me.
Oh, really?
On stage, ready for the curtain.
Good luck again, Father.
Goodbye, my dear.
Bye, Millie.
You didn't congratulate me, Emmett?
Congratulations.
Your enthusiasm overwhelms me.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Campbell Jones will sing a song about a horse and carriage. Mr. Campbell Jones.
By the way, have you tried going out for a little buggy ride with a girl by your side and a horse that knows the way back home? Summer-skies, rosy lanes, while a lark in the meadow entertains, and you can drop the rein with a horse that knows the way back home. And between all the farms, you can then use your eyes to express what you long to say, and you won't mind at all if the horse wants to stall just to try out some new Monet. So if you should decide to go out for a little buggy ride and perhaps win a prize, get a horse that knows the way back, either black or brown, it's way back, but a horse that knows the way back home.
Will Antoine's be all right, Millie?
It's all right with me.
We really ought to celebrate this occasion, you know. The show a success, our engagement. Driver, Antoine.
Yes. Wait, hold that cab, driver. Millie, can I see you a minute?
I'm sorry, we're just going to...
Well, this is important.
What is it?
Well, I can't tell you here. Couldn't we go some other place?
My fiancée is already going someplace.
Millie, you can't be engaged to Mary Bones. You don't love him, and I know it.
Really?
Look here, Emmett, your conduct is unforgivable. Don't try me too far.
Millie, the minute I heard you say you were marrying him tonight, I knew I couldn't let you go.
Emmett, in a very few moments, you're going to have a fight on your hands.
Oh, don't bother to brawl with him, Bones, darling. Have the cabbie throw him out.
Millie, I don't blame you for feeling hurt after the way I treated you, but I'm sure of myself now. It's you I want.
Get your elbow out of my stomach and quit proposing to my fiancée.
Millie, please listen to me.
What do you want to do, start a harem with me and that girl of yours?
I'm just trying to put over the idea that I want to marry you.
Dan.
Emmett, my patience is almost exhausted.
Oh, Dan, darling, I'm so glad you said that. I'll marry you tonight if you want me to.
Darling.
Millie, this transcends decency. I demand an explanation.
Well, how can we make it any clearer to you?
Oh, Millie.
Oh, Dan.
Well, I must say, this was the shortest engagement on record.
Listen, there's a fire somewhere.
Oh, there it is. Good heavens, it's the theater.
The theater, Oh, Dan.
Hey, I can't find it.
What?
I thought I had it with me.
Had what?
My pipe.
Oh, Dan. What an eventful evening. The show was a triumph. I've been engaged to 2 men and the theater burns down. I wonder what'll happen next.
May I say I've had enough?
Oh, don't be depressed, Dan. You'll be back at work as soon as the theater is rebuilt. We can use that time to get married and have a honeymoon.
Well, before we get married, I think I'd better go back and talk to Jean.
Go back? Well, why don't you write her a letter? You can write, can't you?
Oh, you can't break that kind of news in a letter. You know how it is in small towns. People sort of pair you off, and when it doesn't go through, it's a tragedy. Really, the only decent thing for me to do is go back and talk to her in person. Just got to make her understand.
It may be decent, but I think it's silly. What do you expect me to do while you're gone?
Miss me, I hope. Mr. Mason, I come all the way from New Orleans just to see...
I'll tell you again, Jean doesn't want to see you, Dan.
Well, why not, Mr. Mason? I got something important to tell her.
I can give her any messages.
Not this one, Mr. Mason. I've got to speak to her myself.
All right. Come here to the window. There's Jean in the garden.
Why, she's...
Yes, she's in a wheelchair. She's been in it for weeks.
What happened to her? Did she have an accident?
Jean has the paralyzing sickness. She'll never walk again.
So that's why she didn't want to see me.
She doesn't want your pity, Dan.
She ought to know better than that, Mr. Mason. You see, I came back here to marry Jean.
Dear Millie, I suppose you've been wondering why I haven't written. Millie, there's no gentle or easy way I can say this, so I'll tell you right out. I'm married to Jean. I can't explain it because there's nothing to explain. We're in New York where I'm working on some new songs.
Come on now, you're going to hear this new song.
Oh, I feel like a baby the way you carry me around.
Oh, you married a strong guy.
Oh.
Now, you just sit there and listen.
All right, Master.
I hope you think it was worth the trip from the kitchen when you hear it. You need a pillow, Jean?
No, thanks. I'm fine, darling.
All right.
Did I see moonlight and magnolia trees? Smile again, my darling, if you please. Did I hear music on a warm spring breeze? Speak again, my darling, if you please. Did I feel cool September rain just then? If you please, touch my cheek with your hand again. When you are near me, I can dream with ease, and I'm yours, my darling, if you please.
Dan, that was lovely.
You really think so, honey?
It's the best thing you ever wrote.
Oh, you're a wonderful audience, Jean. You like them all.
Of course I have, because they're all wonderful songs. Why don't you try that new publisher you were talking about?
I'm going to. This morning. I'm going to start right at the top and bombard them with my collected works. Keep your fingers crossed, huh?
Oh, good luck, darling. And hurry back.
You know something? You're the bravest little wife a fella ever starved with.
And I'm yours, my darling, if you please.
Well? No, it ain't a good season for ballads. We're looking for something like The Farmer Pitched Hay All Day.
Oh, then I got just the song you want. Turkey in the Straw.
I don't want any songs about animals.
Not about an animal. It's about a turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
That reminds me, it's time for lunch.
Now, wait a second. I've played you 10 songs. They're all good numbers. You must like one of them.
All right, I'll give you $100.
For which song?
For all of them.
That's only $10 a song.
I can add 2. Do you want it?
Well, I don't want it, but I need it. All right.
I'll get you the money in an hour.
Look, I got one more song. It's my best. I've been working on it for a long time, but I just got the words today. Listen.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are
Hold it.
Well?
I'll give you $1 for it.
$1? That's the trouble with you fellas. You have no foresight, no vision. I bet you haven't had a song success up here in years.
Now, that's the reason we can only give you $1 for it.
Thanks. I'll keep the song.
Is that you, Dan?
Hi, honey. We're rich.
What?
Look, $100, all ours. I went up to the public...
Hiya, Dan.
Oh, hello. Mr. Cook. What are you doing up here?
Mr. Cook just got in from New Orleans. He came up to see you, Dan.
Oh. For the past hour, I've been enjoying a visit with the most charming young lady I've had the honor of meeting in years.
Well, that's fine.
Dan, you sold the ballad.
Sure, $100.
Oh, Dan, that's a wonderful price for one song.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for one song. It was for 10 of them. They wouldn't take the ballad unless I threw in my whole repertoire.
That is an insult, Dan. You're wasting your time here. Why don't you come back to New Orleans?
What?
That's what I came for, Dan, to get you back where you belong.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cook. That's out of the question.
But you don't understand what's happened. Bones has arranged for a new show with new numbers, new routines, a cast of 40 people. Count 'em.
Well, that's fine. Then you won't need me.
Dan, why don't we go? We've had a hard time in New York, and you'll be happier if you're back on the stage.
Look, Jean, it's a bad idea.
But if your songs are being sung on the stage and made famous, why, well, the publishers can't help but be interested.
She's right there, Dan.
And I think it would do me good. It's cold here, and I can't get outdoors. The South would be wonderful for me. Oh, please, Dan, I want to go.
Well,
Please.
Well, all right, Mr. Cook. I'll come back.
Dan.
Splendid, Dan, splendid. You'll never regret it, never. I'll go and arrange for your transportation. We'll leave tonight. Start packing, my boy.
Dan, what are you thinking about?
Oh, about you and the trip and a lot of things.
You're not worried about anything, are you? It's all going to turn out beautifully, Dan. I know it.
Sure it will. Come on, honey, you must be tired. I'll carry you inside.
Mr. DeMille will return in a moment with Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour, and Barry Sullivan for Act 3 of Dixie. We have a special guest here tonight, and I'd like her to say a word now. She's Lieutenant Junior Grade Helen Rhodes of the Navy Nurse Corps, who served with our Navy at Pearl Harbor.
Thank you. There's only one thing I can talk about, Mr. Kennedy, and that's the courage of our fighting men and the modern miracle medicines that are helping us save so many lives. Medicines like the sulfa ointments that prevent the spread of infections, tannic acid for burns, and insulin for shock, and opiates to ease pain. Women may not know that these medicines contain glycerin, and glycerin comes from fat. Yes, from the kind of fats we used to waste in our kitchens. The women in this country have been doing a splendid job saving used fat, but we need more, twice as much more. It's such a little thing to save a tablespoon of fat a day, and it may save their life.
I'm sure that from now on, every woman who thought she had too little fat to save will pour it into a salvage can instead of down the drain. In recognition of this important job, the OPA has authorized butchers to give you 2 meat ration points for every pound of used fat you turn in. Take them proudly. You have earned them. And now, Sally, will you tell women just how to save fats?
Use a tin can. Any size will do. Never cardboard or glass. Pour into it all the fats you're not going to use again. Fat from bacon, sausage, soup, stews, or gravies. And this is important. Include the blackened grease from frying pan or roaster, too. All these kinds of fat contain pure glycerin. Keep the fat in your icebox until the container is full. Then turn it into your butcher at once. Don't wait.
You may not get an Army or Navy E, but what woman can fail to help in this simple way to see that our fighting men have the healing, life-saving medicines they need? Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
After the play, we'll meet Dorothy and Bing without the blackface. Now here's the curtain for the third act of Dixie, starring Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour, with Barry Sullivan. In the boarding house in New Orleans, Millie awaits the arrival of the new guests. With broom and dustpan in hand, she's sweeping the hall savagely when our father bursts through the front door.
Well, Millie, here we are.
So here you are. What about it?
Millie.
I told you when you left here that I wouldn't have him back again, and I meant it. And if that woman he married tries to set foot in this house, she'll find herself flat on her back on the front walk.
Now, Millie, you mustn't talk like that. Mr. Emmett is to be considered a professional associate of mine. I demand the same respect for him that you show me.
That's just what he's going to get.
Millie, please, for my sake, be ladylike. Be civilized.
All right. I'll hit her daintily.
Shh. Here they come.
Where is she? I'll wipe. Why, he's wheeling her. She's in a wheelchair.
Oh, she is. Didn't you know? She's an invalid, Millie.
Oh, no. No, I didn't know.
Come right in, Dan.
Hello, Millie.
Hello.
This is my wife. Jean, this is Millie Cook.
How do you do? I'm glad to know you, Miss Emmett. Thank you. Well, Dan, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
How have you been?
Pretty good, Millie. And you?
Oh, wonderful. A little tired, though. I've been going out too much at night.
Well, Emmett, delighted to see you again.
Hello, Bones. This is my wife.
How do you do?
A great pleasure, Mrs. Emmett.
Thank you.
Emmett, this must be fate. You're coming back just when there's an opening for you in the X.
Oh, I'm lucky.
Well, everything's all settled. Now, all we need is an engagement.
Engagement? I thought there was a deal all set for a new show.
Well, we had a little bad luck there. That nosy manager at the Maxwell surprised us during a rehearsal before we had the act whipped into shape. Without a word of warning, he canceled our engagement.
Oh, well, there must be other theaters in town.
Oh, several. I haven't given up yet. I'm going to see Mr. Devereaux, the manager of the French Opera House, this afternoon.
Oh, they wouldn't have a black-faced act in there. They won't listen to anything unless it's sung by a 200-pound tenor.
Well, I only weigh 160, but I'm going to see Devereaux at the Opera House.
You won't find him there, friend. He spends all his time playing cards at the Delta Club.
Cards, huh? Well, did you say cards? That suggests things, huh, Bones?
I, thought you didn't approve of my playing cards.
Well, not when I'm the victim. Strikes me, Mr. Bones, that Mr. Devereaux would be quite helpless in the hands of a scientific player like yourself.
Your suggestion is not without merit, Mr. Emmett. Millie, you'd better start thinking up some new costumes. We'll need them.
There you are, sir. 4 kings. Beat that if you can, sir.
Very nice, Mr. Devereaux, but not nice enough. I have 4 aces.
Again, huh?
Rake in the chips, Mr. Emmett. Would you care for another game, sir?
Not tonight, Mr. Bones. I fear I've overpaid myself to the extent of a couple of $1,000. I trust an IOU will suffice, sir?
As a matter of fact, it won't.
Why, sir? You're inferring my word's not good enough for you?
I prefer cash.
Egad, you're a cheap horse trader. In the South, sir, a gentleman's word is unquestioned. An insult like this demands satisfaction.
You'll get it, sir.
Wait, sir. Mr. Bones, sir, you're forgetting that I accompanied you here at the request of your wife to prevent you from dueling. You've been fighting too much lately, sir, and she says she will not be married to a murderer.
I detest killing people, but the man asks for satisfaction. I leave it to you. Broadswords, rapiers, pistols, they're all the same to me.
Now, just a moment, Mr. Bones, sir. I'm sure that Mr. Devereaux would be agreeable to some method of payment. Obviously, he's a man of honor.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, may I suggest that you two gentlemen meet privately and arrive at some agreement which will prevent the spilling of blood, you all.
Well, very well. I don't mind dueling, but I do hate getting up early in the morning.
Well, I'm at your service, sir. Just what's in your mind?
Well, I was going to suggest, sir, that I might assume your obligation to Mr. Bones in exchange for you doing me a small favor.
What sort of a favor?
Well, perhaps we had best discuss that within the private confines of your office.
Very well, sir. Just follow me.
Hello, Dan.
Oh, hello, Millie.
Are you going back to the house?
Yes, I just...
I'll walk with you.
Fine.
Well, what kind of a card player was Devereaux?
Not nearly as good as he thought he was. We're booked to open at the Opera House.
Oh, wonderful.
Isn't that great?
Where are the others?
Oh, they're celebrating with a couple of beers.
Remember the first night we walked home together?
Huh.
I guess I was pretty silly that night trying to get you to kiss me.
You weren't so silly. I did it, didn't I?
But it was harmless enough, though. What happened since then has proven that.
Mm-hmm. I certainly appreciate the way you've treated Jean.
Don't give me too much credit, Dan. When you came back today, I was furious. Then when I saw her, I began to understand.
You like her?
She's a very sweet girl. It's wonderful not being mad at you anymore, Dan. I guess there isn't any reason why we shouldn't be as good friends as we ever were.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'd better go in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Jean. Didn't see you sitting there.
I asked Mr. Cook to wheel me out. It's such a lovely evening, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful. Well, good night.
Good night.
Come on, get the scenery moving. We're supposed to open the curtain tonight. Don't ask me why.
Well, Bones, how do you like it?
You mean to tell me you turned down $1 for that song?
What do you think, Mr. Cook?
Dan, my boy, you know I've been in the theater all my life. My feeling is entirely negative.
I have to sing it, Dan, and I don't like it either.
Well, then I'll sing it myself. That song has got to go in the show.
Dan!
Yeah, honey, what?
Dan, you know more about this than I do. It seems to me the song should be played faster.
Well, not to me it doesn't. People can yell all they want to, but that song is going to stay the way it is.
Oh, Mr. Emmett, sir. Could I speak to you a minute, sir?
Oh, yes, sure, Mr. Devereux.
Mr. Emmett, sir, our subscribers were expecting a more dignified type of entertainment. We cannot permit a blackface act in the French Opera House, sir.
Oh, no? Well, I've got a contract for 3 months signed by you. What about it?
No, sir, but if you fail tonight, are you willing to settle your contract?
If we fail, we'll be glad to settle, if you can catch us.
Then it's agreed. Goodbye, sir. And for your information, I wish I'd fought that duel, no matter how it came out. By the way, what happened to your southern accent?
Oh, I had my tonsils taken out.
Gentlemen, be seated. Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, sir?
Tell me, are you married?
Yes, sir. I got me a wife and 3 kids.
Oh, so you have a wife and 3 kids to look out for?
No, just my wife. I can lick the kids.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing a song called Sunday, Monday, Always, sung by Dan Emmett.
Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always? If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always? No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at the sight of you, my heart begins to pound and pound. And what am I to do? That I be with you. I love you Sunday, Monday, or always.
Gene, aren't you going to watch the show? What are you doing down here?
I had someone wheel me to Dan's dressing room.
Gene, what's the matter?
Nothing. Why, Millie?
Well, the doorman told me a boat ticket was delivered to you just before the show started. 1 ticket. Where you going, Gene?
I thought I'd go home for a while. You see, I know Millie.
You know what?
I've watched you and Dan. I know he's in love with you.
Gene.
Oh, I don't blame him, or you either.
Wait a minute. You're all wrong, Gene. I'm going to be married tomorrow to Mr. Bones.
You and Bones?
Sure. We're going to announce it tonight.
Well, but...
I guess you are surprised, huh? I'll probably have to spend the rest of my life getting him out of bed in the morning and out of jail at night, but it won't be dull anyhow.
You made up your mind rather suddenly, didn't you, Millie?
Oh, no, just announcing it suddenly. I've been after that man for a long time. I had to circle him, though. He's not the marrying kind. I had to use Dan to make him jealous.
Millie, that's wonderful.
Now, come on up and watch the show. And send that ticket back right away.
All right, Millie.
Mr. Campbell.
Yowza.
Why are you always broke? Don't you take your salary to the bank every week?
Got to. It's too small to go by itself.
I hear you have a dog, Sambo.
Yes, sir. I done got me the smartest dog, most expensive dog in the world. But I done sold him.
You sold your dog for how much?
$100,000.
Cash money?
No, I got me 2 $50,000 cats. Mr. Cook, I smell something. I smell smoke.
Good gracious, the theater's on fire.
Well, play something. Play something quick.
Play something fast, Sambo. Hurry up.
Play Dixie.
Yeah, sing it, Dan. Sing it loud. Just keep the seats. Don't keep the seats.
I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland, where I was born in early on a frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in in Dixie.
Dan, come here.
Is the fire out?
Yes, the fire's out. Where's your pipe?
My pipe? Well, I left it in the prop room.
Oh, fine. That's where the fire was.
Dan, get out there. You or Dixie again. The heat is off. Where's Jean? Jean?
Here, Dan.
Hey, darling, you were right about the way Dixie should go, but it took a fire to make people leave you.
Come on, Dan. Come on.
Yeah. So long, darling. I'll see you after the show.
So long, darling.
Bones, come over here.
Yes, what is it, Millie?
Listen, don't make any appointments for tomorrow.
Hey, why not?
Because we're going to be married.
Married? Well, this is very sudden, Millie.
Well, at least you can say thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank
You're welcome.
Away down south, Dixie. Away down south in Dixie.
Before our stars return for a curtain call, here's a suggestion to mothers of wartime brides. In Ceylon, a new son-in-law has to pay the bride's parents the cost of washing the bride's clothes from birth right up to the day she's married.
Why, Mr. Kennedy, that wouldn't be much if she's a Lux girl.
No, Lux is a thrifty way to take care of clothes, keeps them new-looking longer, too. And making things last is mighty important these wartime days.
If you've been shopping lately, you've probably noticed that many types of fine cottons and rayons just aren't being made anymore. Looms are too busy turning out materials for war. So it's up to us to take extra special care of those nice things we have. You couldn't use anything safer than Lux Flakes.
A little Lux goes so far, you'll find you can do an amazing amount with one big box. Use it not only for underthings and stockings and washable dresses, but for your curtains, too, and washable slip covers, bedspreads, everything around the house that's safe in water alone. If your dealer is out of Lux Flakes today, be patient. He'll have more soon. You can be sure Lux is worth waiting for. Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
Right now, Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour, and Barry Sullivan are on the road to a curtain call.
Oh, sorry, CB. Dottie and I can't be on the road to any place without Bob Hope.
Bing, I want you to know that I didn't agree with those other producers at Paramount when they saw Dixie for the first time.
Well, what did they say, Mr. DeMille?
No hope.
A run of DeMille opinion, I think.
Well, Dottie's traded Hope for Technicolor and riding high.
Yes. You know, I like to make a picture without a sarong once in a while.
You mean you don't even wear a sarong in riding high?
What's the wrong about that? It's a Western.
Oh, you girl, you. well, that's different. I guess maybe Santa Claus will stop at your house after all.
Oh, no, didn't you know? The old boy gave up.
He shouldn't do that to our Dottie.
He figures he can't fill her stocking as well as she does.
Yeah, I guess Santa goes to pictures, too. Say, Bing, you must have found Christmas shopping quite a problem this year.
Nothing to it, Barry. Just went in and told the man I'll take whatever you got four of.
What play are you shopping for next week, Mr. DeMille?
Now, we've got it already, Dottie. The Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, Kathleen. And next Monday, we have the original stars of the picture, Shirley Temple and Herbert Marshall. Next week brings you a new Shirley Temple, a grown-up young lady now, but with the same charm and talent we knew in a tiny girl. And Kathleen is a delightful way to meet her again.
Time marches on, and Shirley Temple has a date. Wouldn't miss it, CB.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Happy Christmas to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, as our third wartime Christmas draws near, it seems to me that we are closer to the true Christmas than for many years past. Closer to the Christmas immortalized by Dickens, the holiday our fathers knew on snowbound farms, and to the Christmas of the little inn of Bethlehem. The false trappings have fallen by the wayside. A warmer kinship joins us all together and brings us, here at home, close to our own out there. From an American Army sergeant has come a message that is especially fitting for this week. The sum of all his experience in battle is in these few simple words. There are no atheists in foxholes. May we at home profit by that thought. men and women of goodwill, wherever you may be, our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes and Lux Toilet Soap, join me in wishing you every blessing of the Christmas season. And we invite you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Shirley Temple and Herbert Marshall in Kathleen with Francis Gifford. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
And folks, here's a date to remember. It's next Wednesday, December 22nd. That's the day when once again you can hear one of radio's proudest moments. That traditional Yuletide treat, Lionel Barrymore in his best-loved role of Old Scrooge in Charles Dickens' immortal story, A Christmas Carol. It will be broadcast on Wednesday, December 22nd, over the Columbia Network. See your local paper for time and station. Dorothy Lamour and Barry Sullivan will star together in the Paramount picture Rainbow Island. Heard in tonight's play were Leo Cleary as Mr. Cook, Louise Arthur as Jean, and Cliff Clark, Norman Field, Ed Emerson, Charles Seal, Horace Willard, Eddie Marr, and Griff Barnett. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. This program is broadcast by international shortwave to our fighting forces overseas through cooperation with the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is your announcer, John M. Kennedy, inviting you to tune in again next Monday night to hear Shirley Temple and Herbert Marshall with Francis Gifford in Kathleen.
Say, lady, take a minute.
What for? I'm buying vitamins.
Exactly. And before you buy, look at the labels. Take a minute, see what's in it. Some products, you know, leave out vitamins A and D, or the essential B complex vitamins, or costly vitamin C. But not Vims, no indeed. Vims give you all the vitamins and minerals needed to supplement the average diet. So take a minute, see what's in it. Then you'll get Vims. This is the Columbia Broadcasting.
Presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, The Youngest Profession. The starring players.
This is Edward Arnold.
This is Virginia Weidler.
And this is Jean Porter.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in a radio adaptation of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's sparkling teenage comedy, The Youngest Profession. It stars Virginia Weidler as Joan Lyons, Edward Arnold as her father, and Jean Porter as her best girlfriend, Patsy Drew. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in The Youngest Profession.
She's here?
Of course she is, Patsy. She's got to be here. Sidney Skolsky had it in his column. Sandra Dale, lovely MGM stars in New York for the Christmas holidays.
I know, but New York is pretty big. How do we know she's in this hotel?
Silly. MGM stars always stay here. I guess maybe they get a special rate.
Yes, but even if she is here, Joan, how do we know what room? And if we don't know what room, how are we going to see her and get her autograph?
Oh, we'll see her all right. We'll tell the desk clerk we're from the secretarial service.
Oh, we used that last week for Walter Pigeon, and it didn't work then either.
Well, then maybe... I know. Patsy, look, we can use this house phone.
Oh, they won't tell you, Joan. Let's give up.
I should say not. Remember, Rome wasn't burnt in a day. Hello? Hello? I'd like to speak to Miss Sandra Dale. And please don't tell me she's out. I happen to know she's in. Who's calling? Oh, just Luella Parsons, that's all. And if I were you, I wouldn't underestimate the power of the press.
Joan, look.
Quiet, Patsy.
Joan.
Hello? Yes, I'll wait in the lobby, and you can tell Miss Dale that Luella can get very impatient.
Oh, I wouldn't keep you waiting, Luella.
Huh?
I thought I recognized you, though you have changed.
Holy cow. Miss Dale.
I was coming through the lobby. I just happened to hear you.
Well, we were so anxious to get your autograph. We're practically your slaves, and, well, we brought you this gardenia from our club Guiding Stars, and, gee, well, you're not sore, are you?
On the contrary, I'm flattered. Shall we go up and discuss it over some tea?
Tea?
And cake. Could you?
Could we? Miss Dale, this is the most significant moment of my life so far.
Bert, dear, you scarcely touched your dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joan knows we eat at 6:30 sharp. She's never been this late before. Edith, do you think anything could have happened to her?
Oh, I don't think so, Bert. I phoned Mrs. Drew, and Patsy hasn't gotten home either.
Well, why does it always have to happen this way? Just when I've got a lot of things on my mind.
Still worried about that Benton case?
Yes, we go into court next week, and the brief isn't nearly ready yet. Edith, do you think we ought to call the police after all? A kid like Joan,
Mops, I'm home, Mops.
Oh, there she is now.
Mops, Pops, the most exciting thing.
Joan, thank heaven you're sick. Young lady, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, wait till you hear where I've been.
I don't care where you've been. I've warned you about getting home in time for dinner.
Oh, Father, you don't understand. What's more important, Sandra Dale or liver and onions?
It's not a question of liver and Sandra Dale, the movie star?
I had tea with her and cake. And then William Powell came in. They're doing a radio show together, and when I left, he even kissed my hand. Just like on the screen.
That'll do, Joan. That'll do. That's all the fantasy I can stand for one day.
Oh, but it's true, Pops. I swear on a stack of photoplays.
There's no need to swear, dear, if you say it's true.
Edith, I never heard such rot. William Powell kissed her hand, and he loves her, and she loves him, and...
Oh, no! I mean, well, I hadn't thought of that.
Well, your mother and I have had all we can stand of this. Your case goes on trial tomorrow morning. My office, 10 o'clock sharp.
Mr. Lyons.
Yes, Miss Dale.
Joan and Patsy are outside. Joan says she has a 10 o'clock appointment.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm playing judge this morning. And by the way, while you're here, I'd like to have your opinion on something.
Yes, of course.
This Christmas present for my wife. I'd appreciate a woman's reaction. There you are. You think she'll like it?
Oh, a sheer chiffon nightgown.
Yes.
Oh, she'll love it, Mr. Lyons. It's just beautiful.
You think it's the right size?
Well, I could tell you in a minute. Mrs. Lyons is just about my height. Let me see now. Oh, sure. See, when I hold it up to my shoulders like this, it just reaches to the floor.
Mr. Lyons, about that Benton case, Oh, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
What's fighting him?
Oh, dear.
What's fighting you?
Well, I'm sorry. It took Mr. Sutton 2 months to get up nerve enough to ask me to lunch. Now he walks in and finds me posing in a nightgown.
Oh, what of it? Why should that... Oh. Well, he's too good a lawyer to convict on circumstantial evidence as flimsy as this.
Oh, he won't convict. He's too shy. He'll just go back into his shell for another 2 months.
Say, are you in love with this young Lincoln?
I must be. When he does ask me to lunch, I can never eat.
Oh. Well, run along and send Joan in, and then go get Mr. Sutton straightened out.
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, here, wait a minute. I'll put this nightgown back in the box, and you can take it along. When it comes to Christmas presents, Joan's got a nose like a bird dog.
All right. I'll make a nice package of it for you. Ribbons and things.
Thank you very much.
Joan, dear?
Has my time come, Miss Thayer?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Go right in.
Wait for me, Patsy. No matter what happens, wait for me, my faithful friend.
Golly, Miss Thayer, is Mr. Lyons in a good mood?
Oh, yes, Patsy. He's in a wonderful mood. As a matter of fact, he just...
Oh, you dropped your box.
Oh, dear, I'm so clumsy today.
That's a nightgown.
Why, Oh, yes, so it is.
It's very thin.
Oh, here now, Patsy. You mustn't tell anyone.
I mustn't?
No, dear, no, not a single soul. It's Mr. Lyon's Christmas present.
Oh.
But I know I can rely on you to keep a secret, huh? Excuse me, won't you, dear? I have so many things to do.
A nightgown from Mr. Lyon. Golly, just like Office Wife with Loretta Young.
Father, I await your sentence calmly, for I would not willingly have caused you pain. Thoughtless I may have been. Wicked, I deny.
There, Joan. Where in the world did you pick up that tripe?
It isn't tripe. It made me cry when Jane Withers said it and foreloved his father. Sooner would I choose death by torture than...
Never mind, Miss Garbo. It's all right. This is going to be brief and to the point. Sit down.
Can't I stand? It makes it more man-to-man, like in the Hardy family.
Sit down. Now, young lady, last night you came an hour late for dinner.
But I was with Sandra Dale and William Powell. I had to wait till tea was over. I couldn't be rude.
You know, I don't think you're actually lying, Joan. I think you imagine those things and then persuade yourself they really happened.
Oh, but, Pops, I swear on a stack of screen guides.
Never mind, no swearing in this court. Well, you deliberately disobeyed my orders about getting home for dinner. The fine for that is no allowance for a month.
But, Daddy, I need money for my club, and I'm broke.
Good, that'll help bring home my point.
You're not acting like Judge Hardy at all.
I'm not trying to act like Judge Hardy.
But when Mickey Rooney talks to his father, it never ends with anything so positively drastic.
Well, you're not Mickey Rooney and I'm not his father. The fine stands, court is dismissed. Now run along, I'm busy.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lyons. The phone at your apartment's still busy.
Well, how can anyone talk that much? It's been busy for 45 minutes. Maybe it's out of order.
No, I've checked. The phone is in use.
A fine spot I'm in. All right. What time did that wire say I had to be in Washington?
By 9 tonight.
Well, how can I go over these contracts, get home, pack, and make my train all in an hour?
Well, you can't. I'd better do it for you.
You?
I'll get your next-door neighbor on the phone and ask him to tell somebody in your apartment to pack a bag. Then I'll go up and get it and bring it to you at the station.
There, you're a genius.
Thank you. Oh, and don't forget, Christmas is day after tomorrow. You may be held in Washington.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll give you a note for my wife, and you can pick up some flowers. I'll give her the nightgown myself when I get back.
Yes.
Yes, by the way, if you're taking a cab up to my place, you might ask Mr. Sutton to go along.
Doug?
Well, why not? He ought to enjoy the ride. And you'll need someone to help with the bag.
Oh, but Mr. Lyons...
And if he still seems shy in a taxicab, just tell him this. I'm considering taking him into the firm. But I like my junior partner settled down. Or at least sinking.
Hello? Hotel Van Dyke? Is Miss Alice Fay registered there? She isn't? Thank you. No luck, Patsy. What's next?
Joe, can't we just give up for today?
Give up? Well, there's over 50 hotels in the book, and all we've called is 32.
I know, but Joan, Miss Fay is coming for your father's bag.
What's Miss Fay got to do with it anyway?
Well, nothing really. Only, well... Oh, gosh. Here it comes.
Patsy, don't try to dramatize a doorbell. Come on. Just a minute. Hello, Miss Thayer.
Hello, Joan. You wonderful girl. Is your father's bag ready?
It's right here by the door. Cook packed it. My mother was out.
Oh, wonderful. Simply wonderful. Hello, Patsy, darling.
Your lipstick smeared.
Oh, really? I never even noticed it. But it's only natural when bluebirds are singing and the whole world smells of orange blossoms.
Huh?
I better go fix it, hadn't I? Oh, promise me that someday you and I...
That's funny. I never saw her act that way before.
It's happened, Joan.
What's happened, Patsy?
Your father's caught in the web. She's going away with him.
Going away? With my father?
Oh, I should have told you, Joan. The minute I found out he was buying her nightgown.
Not my father. I don't believe it.
Oh, can you imagine? I almost forgot. Joan, dear, these flowers are for your mother, in case your father isn't home for Christmas.
Isn't home?
You just tell your mother she must forgive him. He couldn't help himself. This letter will explain everything. Goodbye, dear.
Patsy, did you hear what she said?
Jiminy, Joan, what do we do?
I don't know, but I've got to do something. Come on, we'd better follow her quick.
has presented Act One of The Youngest Profession, starring Gene Porter, Virginia Weidler, and Edward Arnold. In just a moment, we will hear the Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Act Two. But first, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
Tonight I'm going to talk to you about the Lady Esther patch test. And I'm going to talk to you about it every Monday night until you try it. I want every woman in America to make my patch test. Because then every woman will see for herself how Lady Esther's four-purpose face cream beautifies her skin, makes it softer, smoother, and younger looking. Now here's all you do. Just dip your finger into a jar of Lady Esther face cream and rub it on one little spot or patch of your face. Pick a section that gives you a lot of trouble, perhaps on your forehead or your chin. A section that is oily, flaky, or dry, or that has blackheads and big pores. Just rub Lady Esther face cream on that spot. Wipe it off and watch a miracle happen. See the radiant difference between that one little patch of skin and all the skin around it. See how much fresher, clearer, and lovelier that patch of skin looks than any other part of your face. A miracle? Not at all. It's the result you can expect every time from Lady Esther four-purpose face cream. Because here's what happens when you put it on your skin. 1, it thoroughly cleans your skin. 2, it softens your skin, loosens and absorbs the dry flakes. 3, it helps nature refine the pores. And 4, it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. So tonight, or surely tomorrow, make the patch test. I ask you to do it. I urge you to do it for the sake of your appearance. I want you to see with your own eyes what happens when you apply Lady Esther face cream to one little section of your face. And remember, what you see happen to that one little patch of skin will happen to your whole face. Imagine how much younger and lovelier your skin will look, how it will improve in beauty and freshness day after day. Lady Esther four-purpose face cream has but one objective, to give you a smoother, more radiant, and more youthful-looking skin. Just let the patch test prove it.
Lady Esther presents the second act of The Youngest Profession, starring Virginia Weidler as Joan Lyons, Edward Arnold as her father, and Gene Porter as Patsy Drew. Two excited young girls with a couple of dollars borrowed from the cook have followed Miss Thayer to the railroad station. And there they watch the following scene. But watch it from a safe distance, of course, so that they see it all, but never hear a word that's said.
Here's your bag, Mr. Lyons. I never thought I'd make it.
I never doubted it for a minute. How about Sutton? Did that cab driver bring him around out of a shell?
Well, I don't know if it was the cab or not, but he proposed to me. We're going to be married.
Oh, no. Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations. You mind if I kiss the bride?
I'd love it.
Oh, you lucky girl.
Have a good trip, Mr. Lyons.
Thank you. And tell Doug he's getting a partnership for a Christmas present.
Understand it, Joan. She didn't go away with him.
But she kissed him, didn't she? That can mean only one thing.
What do we do? Tell your mother?
Ruin her whole life? To say nothing of Christmas.
But she'll see those flowers and read the letter.
No, she won't. I'll throw the flowers away and I'll tear up the letter. She must never know.
Well, maybe it's better that way. Maybe he'll get over this mad infatuation.
Patsy, you know what we need? Another man to make Daddy jealous.
I know so few men.
What about your father? No, he's too old.
Help the Salvation Army. Help the Salvation Army, please.
Patsy,
help the Salvation Army.
If I can't bring Mother and Dad together again, I'll join the Salvation Army and dedicate myself to humanity.
But, Joan, you'd have to give up the club, and I've never seen you anymore except on street corners.
No, I'll have to stay with Mother. I guess the only answer's another man, to shock Daddy into realization. A sort of combination of Spencer Tracy and Dr. Christian. Patsy, don't you know anyone? Patsy, I'm talking to you.
Joan, look, over there by that sign.
That beautiful man in the lion skin?
It says Dr. Hercules. Why, he's the image of Johnny Weissmuller.
He is. Sort of.
Men you want you should be strong like a lion. You said it. You want women should fall in love with you wherever you go. You bet. You want big, beautiful muscles like mine. Look at 'em, men. Look at 'em.
Joan, I bet he could make your father sit up and take notice.
10 cents, men. 10 cents. Just 10 cents and you two can be Hercules like me. Only 10 cents for the Body Beautiful Builder. How about you, young lady? You want to buy the Body Beautiful Builder?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. You want to buy anything?
Oh, no. I mean, well, not exactly. Not till I see if I can afford it. Patsy, the most significant thing has happened. I discovered tonight that I'm in love with William Powell.
William Powell? But how will Walter Pigeon feel?
I'm sorry, Patsy. This thing is bigger than I am. Hello?
Long distance calling. Just a minute, please. All right, Washington, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Father.
Hello, Joan. Is your mother there?
I'm sorry, my mother is not at home.
Well, Chicken, I've got good news. I'll be home for Christmas. Anyway, part of it. I'll leave here tomorrow, Christmas afternoon, and get back at 8. Isn't that swell?
I'll always be glad to see you, Father. No matter what.
Now, please, Joan, no dramatics. Not at long-distance rates, anyway. Then your mother will be able to make that Christmas dance at the Red Cross affair. That ought to cheer her up.
I'm sure.
By the way, there's an extra pair of tickets in my desk. Call Miss Thayer and tell her they're for her, to keep somebody on his toes.
Miss Thayer?
Yes, you know what I mean. I guess that's all. Goodbye, dear. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I guess that's plenty. Patsy, we're going to have to do something drastic. We've just got to make Father jealous. Well, it's of practically vital major importance.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go see Dr. Hercules.
Of course, that $10 was an inside price for a job like this, see? I'm not even charging you anything for driving you down to the dance.
Remember, Dr. Hercules, you're a foreign diplomat. That's why you're wearing that red ribbon and those medals.
Oh, yeah, sure. Say, what country am I from?
Well, if anybody asks any personal questions, remember what you say. A slip of the lip will sink a ship.
Yeah. Slip of the lip will sink a ship. And close your yap. Don't tell a Jap. And open throats can scuttle boats. I know.
Oh, that's fine. And you really think you can make my father jealous?
Oh, wait till you see me work, sister. Wait till you see me work.
Mrs. Lyons, isn't Joan coming to the dance? Oh, yes. She begged me to let her come with a very special friend. She ought to be along soon, Miss Thayer.
Edith, one of these days, she'll have some of her own to worry about, huh? That right, Sutton?
Well, you never can tell.
Well, take it from me, the greatest pleasure in life. There isn't anything I'd swap for a, good grief.
What is it, Bert?
Well, look over there. Look at what Joan's bringing in.
Red ribbon? Medals? Where in the world? Hello, everybody. Mops, I want you to meet Dr. Hercules, the diplomat. My father, Mr. Lyons, Mr. Sutton.
How do you do?
And Miss Thayer.
How do you do?
Oh, it's a pleasure, Dr. Hercules. May I ask what...
A slip of the lip may sink a ship.
How's that?
Dr. Hercules is on a very secret mission.
Nothing else but.
Oh, really? From what country, Doctor?
What's the matter? You want to sink a ship?
Well, no. I'm sorry.
Doctor, I'm sure my husband didn't mean any harm.
Oh, so he is your husband, eh? Well, he's a very lucky guy, lady. You're the best-looking mouse in this joint. How about a dance?
I don't think my wife cares to dance.
Why, sure she does. Come on, baby.
Well,
Let's cut a caper here.
Yeah, it can't be me. I've only had one drink. Joan, under what toadstool did you find that? Joan, where are you?
Oh, that's strange. She was here a minute ago, Mr. Lyons.
Oh, I'll take care of that later, Thayer, but that fellow may be dangerous. I better go keep my eye on my wife, huh?
Doctor, the foyer is very nice, of course. But I must ask you to take me back to the dance floor.
Oh, lady, I need room for my waltzing.
But we must go back. What will people think?
What your old man thinks is good for him.
I beg your pardon.
Look, let's quit kidding, sister, huh? You know he's making time with that tootsie of his.
Oh, Dr. Hercules, if you don't mind.
Edith.
There he is now. Let's drive him nuts. Oh, honey, you're my kind of a doll, baby. You and I could make great music. What do you say there, baby?
Please let me go. You're hurting me.
How dare you, sir? Take your hands off my wife.
So, a dog in the manger, eh? You don't want her and you don't want me should have her.
Oh, you must be mad. Let go of her, I say.
Oh, please, Bert, not so loud.
I'll smash that egg to a beaten pulp, you son of a...
Wait! You can't. You'll kill you, Pop.
Stand aside, Joan.
Yeah, sure. Stand aside. The old man needs a lesson. Here, Mrs. Lyons, hold my coat.
Now, come on. I'm ready. Put up your hands and fight.
No, Bert, wait.
This is a matter of honor, Edith.
No, wait. Look at this coat. The label, I mean. Property of Logan Costume Company.
Oh, I thought this doctor business was fishy. Explain that label, you fake.
Okay. So I ain't a diplomat. But I don't go making love to my secretary either.
You mean me?
I don't mean your uncle's brother. Why, you ought to be ashamed of yourself with a wonderful wife like you got.
Good heavens, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm sorry it had to come out like this. It was the only way to make him jealous.
Make me jealous?
Yes, and I sure did. When Hercules takes a job, Hercules delivers.
A job? You mean somebody hired you for
What
that?
do you think?
But who?
Who suffers the most when her old man makes a play for another woman? Why, that poor little innocent kid that's standing there with tears in the... Hey, she ain't standing there. She ain't standing nowhere. But what do you know? She's scrammed.
Now, Patsy, think hard. Tell us all the rest. You never know what little detail might help us find Joan.
Well, when Joan decided what she had to do, she needed some money to hire Dr. Hercules and rent a dress suit for him. So she sold her lifeblood to Vera Bailey.
So what?
Her autograph album with all those wonderful autographs. Clark Gable and Jimmy Stewart. Everybody.
Joan did that. For us? Oh, Bert. The poor baby.
No, don't worry. We'll get her back. Don't worry.
Oh, maybe she's gone and drowned herself.
No, Patsy, stop that now. Tell me, did you and Joan ever plan to run away?
Oh, sure. Nearly every week.
And where did you plan to go?
To Hollywood, of course.
Oh, well, just suppose everything had gone wrong. What do you think you'd be inclined to do?
Well, there's only one thing you could do in a case like that.
And what's that?
Join the Salvation Army, of course.
She was so pitifully eager to join the army. I talked to her a while and then put her to bed. You can go in, I think.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, Joan. Joan, darling.
Huh?
We've come to take you home.
Mother? And Daddy, too? You're together?
Why, we've never been apart. Not for a minute.
And I haven't ruined your lives?
Oh, you could only have done that if we hadn't found you. Oh, here's a Christmas present for you, baby. Vera gave it up after a terrific struggle.
Oh, Pops. My autograph album.
Yeah.
My beautiful, beautiful autograph album.
Now, you mustn't cry. It's Christmas, you know.
Well, that's right, chicken. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you, too. You know, Dad, just for a second there, you looked exactly like Edward Arnold.
Thank you, Edward Arnold, Virginia Weidler, and Gene Porter, for your most enjoyable performances in the youngest profession. You gave us fine entertainment indeed.
The pleasure was ours, Mr. Bradley. Everyone in Hollywood enjoys appearing on this series of broadcasts because, well, we realize that the benefits go to the support of the Motion Picture Relief Fund Country House and Clinic. Now, before we tell you about next week's great show, here's a word from one of America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Weidler. I want to remind all of you who are listening to me tonight to be sure and try the Lady Esther patch test. I can promise you it's an experience you won't soon forget. Here's all you do. Take a little Lady Esther four-purpose face cream and rub it on one small section of your face, preferably where you have blackheads or big pores. Just rub it on that one little spot. Wipe it off and see for yourself what happens. See how clear, fresh, and lovely that patch of skin suddenly looks compared to the skin around it. It's almost like watching magic to see it happen. And that's why I want you to try the patch test. That's why I intend to keep reminding you until you do try it. Remember, what you see happen to that one little patch of skin will happen to your whole face when you apply Lady Esther face cream. For this one cream does all the 4 things your skin needs for beauty. Just imagine how exciting and glamorous you'll look when you use Lady Esther four-purpose face cream and then apply Lady Esther face powder to the smooth, new freshness of your skin.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present Let's Face It. It will star Bill Goodwin, Jane Wyman, and Bob Hope. Be sure to listen. Edward Arnold can soon be seen in Kismet. Virginia Weidler can now be seen in Best Foot Forward. Jean Porter will soon be seen in Mr. Coed. All Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Technicolor Productions. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. To try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, just get the smallest size jar. Later, you can get the economical large jar and keep refilling the small one for convenience. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night all. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is Bill Goodwin speaking for Lever Brothers Makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's pure as fine castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guests, the MGM star Charles Lawton and his charming wife Elsa Lanchester, Jimmy Cash, and Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie.
Gee, that's a swell-looking Christmas tree you got, Gracie.
Oh, isn't it handsome? I picked this tree for sentimental reasons.
You did?
Yes. You see how it's little at the top and spreads out at the bottom?
What's sentimental about it?
It reminds me of you.
Thanks, dear.
Oh, won't it be wonderful, darling, spending another Christmas together?
You bet.
And this year it's going to be a real white one.
A white Christmas?
Yes.
Gracie, it never snows in Hollywood.
Oh, I didn't mean that. But remember the sheets we sent to the laundry 6 months ago?
Oh, they're back.
Yes.
We'll have a white Christmas and a starchy New Year, yeah.
Oh, remember our first Christmas, George? You were dating me then.
Sure, I remember.
You kissed me under the mistletoe. My, you were a fiery lover.
I was?
Yeah. Oh, look. We're under the mistletoe now. How about a kiss?
Oh, Gracie.
Oh, come on. I want to see if your kisses are still fiery.
Okay. Well?
I guess they're not making mistletoe like they used to.
Well, come on. We better get busy and trim the tree.
All right, and then we'll go to the pageant rehearsal.
Pageant rehearsal?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Nigel Bolingbroke is staging a Christmas pageant. I'm the Snow Queen, and you're going to be Santa Claus.
Look, I'm not going to be Santa Claus for that broken-down pool room bum.
But, George, it's a wonderful part. You come down the chimney and put presents in the bottles that are hanging by the fireplace.
Wait a minute. Bottles hanging by the fireplace?
Yeah, liquid stocking.
Oh, I see.
You'll be such a cute little Santa Claus with a pillow stuffed in your coat and a long...
Gracie, I'm not going to be in the pageant.
Well, you're very silly, dear. A talent scout might see you. Why, Lana Turner was discovered just sipping a soda in a drugstore.
Well, maybe Lana Turner had more to offer than I would a Santa Claus.
Oh, I don't know. With a pillow in front of you, you'd have...
Never mind.
Come in.
Greetings, good people. 'Tis I, Bolingbroke.
Oh, hello, Maestro. I was just telling George that we want him to play Santa Claus in our pageant.
Yes, and I turned it down, Cue Ball.
Why, you can't be serious, Burns. What a pageant it will be. The very thought of the first scene warms my heart. As the curtain rises, the stage is crowded with little children. Little tots too young to have an agent, all working for nothing.
Yes, that would warm your heart.
And then, tally-ho! Out upon the stage comes jolly old St. Nick in his sleigh.
Drawn by his faithful reindeer, Dunder and Blitzen, Dancer and Prancer, Comet and Garrett Lydecker.
Comet and Garrett Lydecker?
It's an actor friend of mine. Though reduced to playing a reindeer, he insists upon full billing.
Look, I don't want to have anything to do with this broken-down pageant.
Apparently, Mrs. Burns, we must seek elsewhere for a Santa.
Oh, I've got it. The perfect Santa Claus. Charles Lawton.
Oh, stop.
Well, he's already got a big bundle. All he has to do is move it around to the back.
Gracie, you'll never get a man like Charles Lawton to be in the silly pageant.
Hi, folks. Am I interrupting anything?
Not a thing, Bill.
Well, friend Goodwin, I'm so happy to see you. Your arrival is most opportune.
Will $50 be enough?
Don't be crude, my dear fella. I merely wish to proffer you the role of Santa Claus in our Christmas pageant.
Oh, well, you're too late, Cue Ball. I'm taking Santa's place at the department store Toyland this week.
Oh, really, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll bet it's fun giving the kiddies presents.
Oh, it is, Gracie. You ought to see their little faces light up when they unwrap them and say, "Ooh, look, Sandy gave me a great big bar of swine."
That's the present.
Well, sure, George. Swan, the new white floating soap is a present for the whole family because it's 4 soaps in one. The soap for your hands and face, a wonderful soap for bathing the baby, and perfect for dishes and light laundry. 4 swell soaps in one, a great wartime buy.
Well, Bill, what if a little girl asks for a doll?
Oh, Bill has a special bar of Swan that says Mama when you break it in two.
Well, the little girls like to climb up on my lap and have me tell them how to wash the dishes with Swan. I tell them about those long-lasting Swan suds, and I tell them that Swan is so mild and gentle they don't have to worry about rough dishpanny hands.
They like that, huh?
Oh, sure, fascinates them. Why, yesterday a little girl named Nancy sat in my lap for a half hour.
Well, is she big enough to wash the dishes?
Well, I think so. She's 22.
Well, if Bill won't be our Santa Claus, I better get in touch with Mr. Lawton right away.
Oh, now, Gracie, surely you're not serious about this. Surely you wouldn't bother a great actor like Charles Lawton with the silly pageant. I know I can trust you.
Mama's little dreamer.
Gracie, I want you to promise me that you won't ask him.
Well.
Go on, promise.
All right, I promise.
Good. Now behave yourself while I go down to the cigar store.
Well, I'd better start for Mr. Lawton's house.
Well, Gracie, you just promised George.
I promised I wouldn't ask Mr. Lawton to be Santa Claus.
Yes?
But I didn't promise I wouldn't ask his wife to ask him.
Oh, you're going to talk to Mrs. Lawton, Elsa Lanchester.
Sure. The way to a man's heart is through his wife.
I thought it was through his stomach.
Well, in Mr. Lawton's case, there's a shorter way.
Why, Gracie.
Hello, Elsa.
Come in, dear. It's been ages since I've seen you.
Yes, I guess the last time was at Maggie Ettinger's party.
That's right. Charming affair, wasn't it?
Oh, delightful. She's such a wonderful hostess. Of course, the sandwiches were terribly small.
True, and the cocktails were rather poisonous.
And the flowers on the table were all droopy.
Most of the guests were droopy, too.
Yeah, and Maggie had on the same dress she's worn at the last 3 parties.
The last 4. But it really was a charming party.
Oh, delightful. Well, I better get down to business, Elsa. Do you think Charles would like to play Santa Claus in a Christmas pageant?
Santa Claus?
Yes. It would be a nice change from his movie work, and I know how tiring that can be.
What do you mean?
Well, George and I saw him in a picture not long ago, and I remember saying, George, Charles must be working too hard. He doesn't look well.
What picture was that?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes, he did look a bit seedy in that one.
But he'd look fine as Santa Claus.
Why don't you have George play the part?
Well, I asked him to, but he wouldn't do it.
You mean he refused?
Uh-huh.
But that's ridiculous. It's absurd. After all, he's only a husband.
Well, doesn't Charles ever refuse?
I should say not. He wouldn't dare. Gracie, does George wear the pants in your house?
Well, not so much in the house, but always when he goes out.
I mean, is he boss?
Oh, sure.
You've obviously let him get out of hand. Can't you control him at all?
Well, George was pretty well under control the first few years we were married, but then my mother left.
But, Gracie, the wife must be boss. For example, Charles serves me breakfast in bed. Does George do that?
Oh, no. He makes me come down to the table before he serves mine.
What about closing the windows and turning the heat on in the morning?
Oh, well, I've been doing that recently. It's icy cold in the room when we wake up.
All the more reason why you should make George do it.
Oh, I don't have the heart, Elsa. He lies there and looks at me so pathetically with those two big blue lips.
You're too soft, Gracie. Be like me. Keep Charles under your thumb.
My.
I lay down the law and he obeys it.
Gee.
I crack the whip and he jumps.
Really?
Absolutely. And to prove it, I promise you that Charles will play Santa Claus because I'll order him to play it.
Oh, you're sweet. So full of the real Christmas spirit.
Come on, let's go up to the attic. There's a red flannel nightshirt there that I made him stop wearing. It might do for part of the costume.
Well, why did you make him stop wearing it?
Oh, bad for my nerves. He looked exactly like a burning building.
Well, while the girls were in the attic, Mr. Lawton came home. He just hung up his hat when there was a knock at the door.
Oh, hello. Come on in, George.
Oh, thanks, Charles. Thanks. Say, Charles, I'm looking for Gracie. Is she here?
Why, George, how flattering.
I thought maybe I asked Gracie. I asked Gracie to tell you that for you not to be in her Christmas pageant. I told her not to do it, but I thought maybe she did anyway.
You meant she might have disobeyed you?
Sure.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that's absurd. After all, she's only a wife.
Well, doesn't Elsa ever disobey you?
I should say not. She wouldn't dare. You're too soft, George. You let Gracie run over you.
Really?
Certainly. You're the husband. You're entitled to be boss. Who brings the money in your family? Who earns the living? I say you are in rather an awkward spot, aren't you?
Yes, I guess so.
Believe me, I keep Elsa under my thumb.
My.
I lay down the law and she obeys it.
She?
I crack the whip and she jumps.
Really?
Absolutely.
You wear the pants around here, huh?
I haven't had them off in 17 years.
Boy, you go out whenever you want to, huh?
Not a question.
Your wife doesn't complain when you have the boys over for poker?
She wouldn't dare.
Well, how does she feel about smoking cigars in the living room?
I'd never let her do it.
No, I mean, can you do it?
I do as I please. And if Elsa so much as raises an eyebrow at me, I turn her across my knee and spank her.
What was that, Charles?
Oh, hello, darling. I didn't know you were home.
Evidently not. Gracie, give me that flannel nightshirt.
Oh, here you are, Elsa.
Charles, take this to your room and sew legs on it. You're going to be Santa Claus. Don't argue with me, fat boy. Go to your room.
Yes, dear.
George Burns, you go and help him.
What, Gracie?
Don't argue with me, skinny boy.
Yes, dear.
See, Elsa, this is fun.
here's our popular young tenor, Jimmy Cash, with Felix Mills in the orchestra, and an old favorite that's coming to the fore again, a ballad called Home. Jimmy?
Evening ever brings to me dreams of days that used to be, memories of those I love the best. When shadows fall and trees whisper day is ending, my thoughts are ever wending home. When crickets call, my heart is forever yearning once more to be returning home. When the hills conceal the setting sun, stars begin a peeping one by one. Night covers all, and though fortune may forsake me, sweet dreams will ever take me
Well, Mr. Lawton, so you don't wear the pants in your family after all.
No, George, I confess, I wear the girdle.
I can't believe it. A big guy like you afraid of your wife.
It's a secret I've kept from the whole world. Why, outside of my home, everyone's afraid of me. Policemen tremble when I talk to them. Truck drivers get out of my way. Department store clerks actually wait on me.
But at home, you're a milquetoast.
Yes, it's terrible. I went to a psychoanalyst.
What did he say?
He said, talk back to your wife. Don't be afraid of her. He was a single man.
I guess that. But, Charles, why are you so afraid of Elsa? Does she beat you?
Oh, of course not. That's just the point. She's sweet to me, and I love her. But I want to be boss, and she won't let me.
Say,
I long to be the caveman type. I go to a Humphrey Bogart picture and just sit there and drool.
Well, haven't you ever gotten up enough nerve to do anything about it?
Well, once I did lose my temper. Elsa criticized my work.
That got you, huh?
Yeah, so I took off my apron, threw down my broom, and walked out of the house.
You're a tiger. You know...
Come in.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Lawton. I was looking for Gracie. Oh, hello, George.
Hello, Bill. Charles, this is Bill Goodwin.
How do you do?
Well, gee, Mr. Lawton, you don't have to stick your tongue out at me.
That's his lip. He's pouting. He's henpecked.
Oh, go on. Not Charles Lawton. He's too tough. Why, I can still hear him saying, Mr. Clifton, come here. Scrub my back with Swan.
I don't recall that.
Well, Charles, you must try it sometime. Swan's not only great for your bath or for bathing the baby, but it's just a soap for dishes and light laundry. Swan's the new white floating soap. It's 4 swell soaps in one.
Say, Bill, we're serious. Gracie saw Elsa dominate Charles, and now I'm henpecked, too.
Well, what are you, George, a man or a mouse? Get tough with Gracie. Scare her.
How? Tell her I'll leave her?
No, don't bribe her. Scare her.
Bill.
Listen, I'll tell you how both of you can scare your wife.
How?
Tell him you won't let him bathe the babies with Swan.
What baby?
Well, any babies.
Oh.
Swan's great for all of them. Doctors recommend it because it's pure as fine castiles, and it's so mild it's kind even to a little baby's tender skin, which, incidentally, is a tip-off to the fact that it's swell for your hands and face, your complexion.
Say, Charles, maybe we should try to scare our wives.
You're right. If we're ever going to get the upper hand, now's our chance, while there's a shortage of men.
Right. Now you're talking. Once and for all, end that myth about the better half.
We will.
There's no such thing as a better half. Both halves are equally good.
Sure.
So when you break Swan in two, put half in the kitchen and half in the bathroom.
So long, Bill.
You can put your half in the bathroom for your tub or shower.
Out, Bill.
Or you can put it in the kitchen for the dishes or light laundry.
Out.
George, let's go in there and pin their ears back.
Okay.
We'll show them who's boss.
You said it.
We'll scare the life out of them.
I'll say we will.
You go first.
Well, we better go in together.
You're right. United we stand.
That's the stuff.
Nothing can stop us.
Now you're talking.
We're husbands on the warpath.
That's us.
Let's have a drink first.
That's a good idea. One quick one to give us nerve.
Yes, I'll cut some lemon and put on the teapot.
Oh, never mind that. Let's go in and get this over with.
Right you are. It's now or never.
Sure.
Our wives can't push us around.
I'll say.
Men are meant to be masters, not women.
Right.
Do you think we'd better arm ourselves?
Oh, come on. We're not afraid of them. Remember Captain Bligh.
Very well. Are you with me?
Yes.
Let's go.
Good.
Mrs. Lawton.
Mrs. Byrne.
Yes, sir? Yes, sir.
Sit down.
Sit down.
We are sitting.
Then stand up.
Stand up.
Charles, what is the meaning
Quiet. We have come to deliver an ultimatum.
Yes.
Yes. Henceforth, we will give the orders, not you. And to start with, we will not play Santa Claus.
That's right.
So you can take this Santa Claus suit and stuff it in the chimney.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, my goodness, what happened?
Charles must have gotten into my vitamin capsules.
Well, Elsa, if we let him get away with this, we're sunk.
You're right. They might tell other husbands and organize.
Yeah. And men are scarce now, even men like ours.
I don't know what to do. I've never seen Charles like this before.
Oh, I could handle your husband, but I wouldn't know what to do with George.
Oh, George is no problem.
Yeah. Say, I have an idea. I'll handle your husband and you handle mine.
It's a deal. Mr. Burns, may I see you alone for a moment?
Why, of course, Elsa.
Oh, and Mr. Lawton, I'd like to speak with you.
What is it, Elsa?
Sit down, George. I'll sit here at your feet.
Well, if that's the way you like it,
If Pete have so much character, George, what size are they?
11s.
The best size. There can be no nonsense about a man who has so much of him on the ground.
Look, if you're trying to flatter me into playing Santa Claus,
Oh, no, George. I admire you for refusing. You are so virile, so masterful.
Well, Charles spoke up, too.
Only because he had your strength to lean on.
Really?
You are strong, aren't you, George?
Well, I'm not exactly a panty waist.
Modest boy. Flex your arm and let me feel your muscle.
Okay. Grab hold.
Go on. Flex it.
It's flexed.
How nice to have smooth muscles that don't make lumps.
Yeah.
Your personality and your gorgeous, resonant voice.
And respect all by my side.
Oh, you sing, too.
Of course.
Do you ever sing any lighter things, such as Christmas carols?
Oh, sure. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Magnificent, George.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Incredible. You actually seem to have bells that swing back and forth in your throat.
Those are tonsils.
What a pity the world must be robbed of such beauty.
Huh?
If you played Santa Claus and made your entrance singing Jingle Bells, it would be the theatrical event of the century.
Bigger than the Avon Comedy Fall?
I think so. Well, why discuss it? I admire the stand you've taken and you mustn't change it.
Wait a minute. You can't tell me what to do.
I can't?
No. If I want to play Santa Claus, nobody can stop me.
Oh, George, you're so strong. So terribly strong.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells.
know, Mrs. Burns, if you have any notion of wheedling me into the part of Santa Claus in your moth-eaten pageant, forget it. I won't do it, and that's final.
Then I may as well go?
You may as well.
All right. I won't bother you anymore. May I have a picture of you to take with me?
You women seem to picture me.
Yes, and if it's not too much trouble, please sign it. To Gracie, from the greatest actor of all time.
Oh, it's no trouble at all, my dear. But do you really think I'm the greatest?
Oh, certainly. I've seen lots of actors, but you're head and shoulders and so on and so forth above them all.
Very well, here's your picture.
But you didn't write from the greatest actor of all time.
It's stamped on all my pictures.
Oh, my, you're handsome. I can't understand those silly people who stand in line for hours to see an Errol Flynn movie. I wait until one of your pictures is playing, and then I go right in and pick out the best seat in the house.
I had no idea you were such a devoted admirer.
Oh, I'm not the only one. You know, I saw a revival of Henry VIII not so long ago, and when you played one scene, the whole audience was in tears.
The scene where I was a feeble, broken old man.
No, the scene where you took a big bone with lots of meat on it and threw it to the dogs.
One time that was considered quite amusing.
I love to hear you deliver lines, Mr. Larkin. Those rich, beautiful sounds come pouring out of you like wine out of a barrel.
Thank you, I think.
Mr. Lawton, I'll bet you could take just any old words and make them sound wonderful. Like, for instance, ho dancer, ho prancer.
Doesn't Santa Claus say that to his reindeer?
Yes, try it.
Ho dancer, ho prancer. Jove, it does sound good, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
But I'm not satisfied. I see dancer as a more delicate deer than prancer. How's this? Ho dancer, ho prancer.
Oh, you're cute.
No, Prancer needs to be polished. I see Prancer as a frisky animal, always kicking up his heels, something like this. Ho dancer, ho, 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 Prancer.
That such a great performance should never be heard.
But it shall be heard. I insist that it be heard.
Oh, you're so masterful, Charles. I guess I'll have to give in.
Well, Gracie, your problem is solved. George is in there, and he's agreed to play Santa Claus.
What? Over my dead body?
Well, Gracie, it looks like you're going to have two Santa Clauses for your pageant.
Well, yeah. I think the admission tickets will have to be brown ration stamps.
Well,
won't we be giving the audience the two biggest hams in the world?
George and Gracie will be right back, friends, and meanwhile, I'd like to remind you that because we're all busy these days, every little convenience can be a big help. Like 4-in-1 Swan soap, for instance. You see, one soap, Swan, the new white floating soap, is swell for baby's bath, your own bath and complexion, dishes, and light laundry. Yes, Swan is 4 soaps in one, and a great wartime buy. And now, from the makers of Swan, Christmas greetings to you all. And here again, our radio's ever-loving Mr. and Mrs., George and Gracie.
Say, George, you know who our guest is next week? John Garfield.
Oh, swear.
Oh, that poor boy. He's always been throwing him to prison.
Oh, yes. They throw him into prison for $30,000 a week.
Say, do you think we can spring him in time for our show?
I'll talk to his agent. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Our thanks to our guests tonight, Elsa Lanchester, and her husband, Charles Lawton, who appeared with the kind permission of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor musical Thousands Cheer. The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your Columbia station again next week, same time, when we'll have as our guest John Garfield. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS, next Tuesday night. And now till next Tuesday, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I swan, how about you? And also adding, tomorrow night, don't miss the big radio treat of this year and every year. Lionel Barrymore as Old Scrooge in Charles Dickens' immortal Yuletide story, A Christmas Carol. It'll be broadcast over most of these same stations at this same time tomorrow night. Get the whole family to listen to Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol starring Lionel Barrymore, the only time this season that Mr. Barrymore will broadcast this great Christmas story. Good night, everyone.
Duffy's Tavern, where do you eat meat to eat? Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Tonight, a real big shot, Duffy. Monty Woolley. And that ain't hay. Or is it? Well, you remember Woolley, Duffy, the wise old actor with a sage old brush? Well, look, Duffy, somebody's got to play Santa Claus at the Christmas party, so, as long as Monty's going to be here, the old adagio, a beard in the hand. Yeah, sure, I'll ask him. Well, I'll call you back, Duffy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Duffy's Tavern. Come in and meet Finnegan, Eddie the waiter, and Miss Duffy, our singer Bob Graham, Beat Reeves and his orchestra, and our special guest tonight, Monty Woolley, and Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Hey, Eddie, where's the soap?
The soap? Miss Archie, you got a new girl?
No, Eddie, I want to write a poem on the mirror.
A poem on the mirror?
Certainly, the annual Christmas poem. And, Eddie, if I do say so, it's probably the finest opus I have ever opened. Got that real Christmas flavor.
Say, any chance of fella not hearing it?
Certainly, Eddie. Listen to this thing. Merry Christmas to you all. Be of right cheer and joyous. Leave us Yule a log on the fire. And leave not naught annoy us. Come lift your beakers and quaff us a skull. Kiss Kringles abroad in the snow. I quaff, lads, and laugh, lads. Ha-ha. Hee-hee. Ho-ho. You like it, Eddie?
It'll go beautifully with that cracked mirror. Okay, here's the soap.
And, Eddie, while I'm doing this, how about you Christmasing up the joint a little bit there? Here, hang up these wreaths.
Where'll I hang them?
Well, leave one dangle over each table.
That's a good idea. Then after each customer's finished eating, we can just lay the wreath right on his chest.
Eddie, don't be so fascistic.
Say, Archie.
Oh, yeah, Miss Duffy.
Where do you think is the best place for me to hang these mistletoes?
Well, how many you got there? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss Duffy, you're going to hang 7 mistletoes around this joint?
Well, what do you want me to do? Stand in one place all the time?
Well, you mean to tell me that you got all these traps set for Breckenridge Hartsum soda?
Oh, him.
Oh, him? What's the trouble?
Oh, I just found out what he's getting me for Christmas. A $2 bottle of perfume. Isn't that cheap?
Well, now, wait a minute, Duffy. $2 a bottle for perfume might not be cheap. It all depends, isn't it? quarter or a fifth?
Archie, everybody knows that perfume don't come in quarts or fifths. This is a pint. Gee, I thought maybe he would get me a fur coat or maybe an alligator bag.
An alligator bag? What would you do with it? You ain't got an alligator.
Oh, what's the use of standing here talking to you? Once a man, always a man.
And you can say that again. Eddie, did you ever beat the likes of these dames? They're all so mercenary, you know?
That is sure. You know, that Sonia Jones of mine is still expecting that mink coat. Plus
what?
Plus a diamond bracelet and a ruby engagement ring, which I also promised her. You see, the other night I sort of took her off, and when we talked about the mink coat, she kind of put her arms around me, and then I mentioned the diamond bracelet, and she gave me a great big kiss. Then I saw the ruby ring.
Eddie, are you crazy? Comes Christmas and she'll kill you.
Who cares? Live dangerously is my motto.
You know, with me, I ain't got no problems. I'm giving every dame I know the same present. A nice, practical gift. And yet it's attractive. What is it? Picture me. You see, I had 6 lovely portraits made.
Yeah, how much did it set you back?
Let's see, there were 3 for $1.25. And there were 6 of them. It came to 6 times 3 1/4. Roughly around $1.50. And that takes care of my list.
Say, well, what you going to give for Miss Duffy?
What am I going to get for Duffy? Eddie, for Duffy, I will get exactly what he always gets me. And that is something which you can find in a vacuum which has been cleaned out by a vacuum cleaner. Oh, hiya, Finnegan.
God, check who's here with me tonight.
Who?
My brother Wilfred.
Wilfred?
Yeah.
Is that the tall, fat, ugly one?
No, that's my mother. No. Wilfred is my kid brother. You know, the black sheep of the family.
The black sheep of the family?
Yeah, the one with the brains.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. Very smart kid.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Art, what's an IQ?
An IQ? Why?
My kid brother's got one.
Well, you see, Finnegan, that proves that he is a very bright boy.
Yeah?
Yes, IQ is a scientific abbreviation for a very smart person. Liberally translated, it means intelligent quadruped.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this brother of mine is very smart. He's really got his worry. You see, the rest of our family is just normal, average people. Like me. And poor Wilfred has to be a genius.
Yeah, well, that's tough. When did you find it out?
Well, we first realized that he was abnormal when we seen him reading the paper without moving his lips.
Well, you can't tell. Maybe the kid has been throat clipped.
No, he's a good boy. Wait, I'll go bring him over.
Hello? Oh, hello, Duffy. What? There's a package from you arriving for me, and I shouldn't open it until Christmas. A present for me? Are you sure this is Duffy? Well, Duffy, I'm flabbergasted, you know? Well, gee, thanks. And by the way, did you receive my present yet? Well, it's probably in the mail. I'll call you back. Holy cat, Eddie. Duffy bought me a present. I gotta get something from him. I gotta get something. What could I... Let me see. Europa. I got it. What? I'll send him one of my portraits. Have you got a pen, Eddie?
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll autograph it, you know, with something nice. Let's see. To my dearest employer, good old Duffy, in fond appreciation for all I have done for you. Signed, Archie.
Say, Archie.
Yeah, Mr. Bailey?
Do you think that a picture is enough of a...
Listen, Bailey, he's the boss. Naturally, I can't send him as good a present as he's sending me. After all, with the kind of dough Duffy's got, you know, and an expensive present, there's no skin off his flint.
Say, Archie, wouldn't it be wonderful if around this time of year he sent you a lovely warm scarf?
A scarf? Well, Bailey, I'm funny that way. You know, I'd rather warm myself over a gold cigarette lighter.
Well, as long as it's something that keeps you warm. Don't forget, Archie, the cold sneezing is here.
Would you mind to repeat that, please?
I said the cold sneezing is here.
The cold sneezing is here. Bailey, that joke stinks. Christmas present. I wonder what it could be.
Hi, Art.
Yeah, Finnegan.
Here's my brother Wilfred. You remember him, Art?
Oh, certainly. Hello, Wilfred, my boy.
Hello.
My, you certainly have been growing.
Doesn't that strike you as an entirely normal procedure?
Well, that's how it goes. Well, how are things in school, Wilfred? Are your teachers learning you lots of stuff?
Archie, they're not learning me. They're teaching me.
Oh. Well, that's what they're there for. Well, you're looking fine, Wilfred. Very manly. Are you eating good?
Yes, I get sufficient nourishment, thank you.
Well, you know, you got to eat good if you want to grow up to be a big, strong man like your Uncle Archie. You know how I got this physique of mine?
Malnutrition?
Yes, sir, and plenty of it. Yeah, Wilfred, I always eat lots of bread, potatoes, pancakes.
Well, I'm on a diet that precludes carbohydrates.
No, but, yeah. What say?
Starches. I'm not permitted to have starches.
Well, that's right, Wilfred. Starches ain't good for you. You know, they make your stomach stiff. See, anyways, Wilfred, I said start the music. Wilfred, you're in for a big treat. Bob Gray, my singer, who is also a college man, has brought over a few of his sorority brothers here. They're going to treat us with a Christmas carol. Go on, fellas, sing and make it Christmassy, huh?
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep.
Sounded like a December Western pup. Eddie, pass the hat for the boys.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Arthur, ain't that Mr. Monty Woolley coming in?
Oh, yeah. Monty Woolley. Look at the guy, Eddie. Well, good evening, Mr. Woolley. Well, Monty, good to see you again. I trust that you and I can pick up our acquaintance from whence we left off.
I'm sure we can. My revulsion is undiminished.
Well, thanks, Monty, old boy.
Old boy. This is the first time I have ever heard of contempt breeding familiarity.
I wish I knew if he was smiling. Monty, why is it that you take this antagonistic attitude towards me?
Well, frankly, I think of you as a possible menace to my future.
Me? Oh, why?
Well, someday when I am too old to play juvenile, I may want to go back to my old profession, instructor of English. By the time you're through with it, I may find myself teaching a dead language.
Well, you know, it's a lucky thing for you that was a veiled insult.
Hey, mister, that's a funny place to wear a grass skirt.
Oh, the darn thing always hikes up.
Finnegan, please, no remarks, Kay, about the beaver cage.
So, I apologize, mister. So, I promise I won't tell you about your beard again. After all, I'm human.
Sir, you presume.
Look, I'm sorry, Monty, but I hope you'll understand. You know, the guy takes a look at that. Finnegan, put down that match.
Let me do it. I never gave a guy a hot beard.
Look, beat it, will you, Finnegan? I'm having enough trouble with this guy. Monty, tell me something. What are you doing Christmas Eve?
Well, we have an old custom in our family. I always take Grandma to the fight.
Well, that's very sweet, but the fights get out pretty early. Now, here's what I had in mind. How would you like a part here on Christmas Eve? Playing the part of...
Playing the part of what?
Monty, why don't we have a bite to eat? Eddie, how about some refreshments for Mr. Woolley?
Just a moment. I eat here. I'd sooner die.
No, there is no sooner way.
Just a second, Eddie.
Mr. Woolley, don't let Eddie frighten you. The food isn't that bad. Well, have you, sir, ever eaten in this cadaver's commissary? Well, Duffy's is no rip. Do tell.
Monty, you see, every Christmas Eve we have a big party here at Duffy's. You know, the joint is full of kids. They come down to get their fathers, you know. And we have a Christmas tree and wreaths around, and every kid gets a candied pig's foot. And I usually write a Christmas pageant.
You can write?
Like a whiz. Now, the only thing we yet ain't got set yet.
Well, now, what is it? What is it that you yet ain't got set yet?
Santa Claus.
Now, just a second, you Brooklyn Knoll coward.
Now... Please, Monty, don't get excited. And, by the way, Brooklyn and Knoll don't go with each other anymore. Look, playing the part of Santa Claus, it'd be so much fun. And look what a challenge it'd be for you as a pedestrian.
A challenge?
Well, sure. It'd be the toughest role of your career. You playing a sweet guy. And, when you give out them toys to them little kids, think of the thrill you'll get out of it.
Yes. I can already feel the patter of tiny feet on my face.
Look, Monty. Wait, you was a kid once yourself, wasn't you?
There's no record of it.
Wait. Gee, if you could just talk to one of them kids and see what it's like... wait a minute. Hey, Finnegan, is your kid brother Wilfred still here?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Wilfred, come here. I want you to meet Santa Claus.
Now, listen, you...
Look, Monty, what can you lose? Just kid the kid along a little.
Did you call me, Archie?
Yeah, Wilfred, I got a great treat for you. Guess who this is? Wilfred, this is Santa Claus.
Well. Not the Santa Claus.
That's right, young man. Ho, ho, ho. Well, son, I'll be coming down your chimney Christmas Eve.
Well, thank you very much. But we have an oil burner. Say, Mr. Claus, I understand you live up at the North Pole.
I do? Oh, yes, I do.
You know, of course, that the average temperature of the North Pole is estimated at 70 to 90 degrees below zero Fahrenheit.
Well, it does get a bit nippy. But then one can always grab a snort of...
Sandy! Snort of Sandy, of course, only drinks soft drinks, Wilfred.
That's right, Wilfred. Very soft. Cotton gin.
Yes, Wilfred, now see that you're a good boy, because on Christmas Eve, Santa Claus calls on every good little boy and girl.
How did you know where they live?
Well, there's all their numbers in a little red book.
Yeah, it's some mighty fine numbers, that little red book.
Oh, this is so ridiculous. Preposterous.
Huh? Wilfred, You don't mean that you believe in Santa Claus?
Oh, Archie, please. It's an amusing legend and rather pleasant, this Santa Claus. But this man plays him so badly.
Why are you... Now, take it easy, Monty. Monty, leave go of the kid's throat. Wilfred, put down them tweezers. So what, Monty? You know, the kid's a bit of a critic.
Please leave me get out of here.
Look, Monty, I'm sorry it turned out like this, but...
Archie, don't be silly. I'll be happy to be here Christmas Eve.
You will?
Yes, playing Santa Claus with Wilfred, with a bag slung over my shoulder. And do you know what I hope to have in that bag?
What?
Wilfred.
And now, you lousy little genius.
Now, Archie, please. You don't actually expect an educated man of 8 to believe Santa Claus.
Don't I? Look, Wilfred, maybe there ain't no real Santa Claus with no red coat jumping down chimneys. Okay, but there is something that a kid like you should get wise to. Something that kind of makes people do wonderful things for each other at Christmas time, and I like to call it Santa Claus. It's something inside of all of us, kid, that if we're right guys, will turn each one of us into a Santa Claus, see? With every guy loving his fellow guy and working with him to bring goodwill into the world, peace, and a gift. Don't tell me that there ain't no that kind of a Santa Claus.
That's sounding, Mr. Archie. And, hey, this package just comes for you.
Oh, yeah? Let me look. Hey, it's my present from Duffy. Now, Wilfred, here is what I'm talking about. This package says don't open till Christmas, but I want to teach you a lesson. Okay? So I'll open it. Now, here's a guy named Duffy. You know, he's mean, stingy, cheap, and yet, at Christmas time, he changes and gives me this picture of himself. Autographed to my dear employee, Archie. Where was I, Wilfred? Oh, yeah, you see? Maybe there ain't no real Santa Claus with no red coat chimneys, but I believe that... Duffy, Tavern. Oh, hello, Duffy. By the way, Duffy, thanks for that picture. No, it's just the kind of a thing I wouldn't have bought for myself. So, Merry Christmas to you and Mrs. Duffy and all of our friends. So long, Duffy. Radio Service.
Johnson Wax program with Fibber, McGee, and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Car New, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber, McGee, and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. In this week before Christmas, there's probably more friendliness in the air than at any other time of the year. As we grow older, it's not the gifts of Christmas that we feel, but the friendly spirit back of them, the good smile, the warm hand clasp of neighbors and friends. When these friends and relatives gather with your own family in your own home, you realize what it means to have a home in a free country. In anticipation of these friendly gatherings, many of you will be adding the finishing touches of house cleaning this week. Among other things, going over waxed floors, furniture, and woodwork to make them gleam with beauty. The makers of Johnson's Wax are proud that their humble products find a useful place in your preparations for a warm-hearted Christmas season. Have you ever waited till the last minute to buy your Christmas tree, only to find that the dealers were all sold out? You have? Well, then maybe you can whip up a little throb of sympathy for Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
Well, I'm afraid it's no use, McGee. We've been to 7 different lots, and we haven't seen a loose spruce.
Don't worry. I'll get us a Christmas tree if I have to chop one off the courthouse lawn.
Well, then I'll have to change my Christmas present for you.
Huh?
That war bond. I'll make it a bail bond.
Yeah.
Say, why on earth didn't you go buy a tree last week, as I suggested?
Because they were asking ridiculous prices, that's why. Most of them slum-raised lumber jerks were asking $7.50 for a bow-legged little balsam no bigger than a whisk broom.
You think they get cheaper as they get scarcer?
That ain't the point. The point is to find the guy that's overstocked, see? Afraid he isn't going to get rid of them by Christmas. Get one for a song that way.
We should have brought Nelson Eddy with us then. I've heard you sing in the shower, and that soapy opera of yours wouldn't get us anything but a raspberry bush. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Nesmith.
Who's that?
Mrs. Nesmith.
Oh. Say, there's a lot right along in here someplace where the guy had 1 million trees last week, and he can't possibly... Oh, here it is. Come on.
Oh, that must be the salesman. I beg your pardon, sir, but is that Christmas tree for sale, and if so, how much... Well, heavenly days, Uncle Dennis.
Hello, Molly, darling, and Fibber, lad.
Hi, Unc. Where's the sap in charge of the saplings? We want to negotiate for a live log.
Well, now, I'm sorry, lad, I am indeed. The gentleman in charge of this Christmas tree lot, a fine lad by the name of Monahan, may his pretzels never grow soggy, as he is one of the grandest guys that ever tripped a fruit peddler to take his hungry mother a big juicy apple, has closed up and gone home.
Yeah, but we wanted to buy this Christmas tree, Uncle Dennis.
Yeah, not that it's much of a tree. I've seen better fur on a mouse.
Well, now, isn't it a shameful thing that you should be too late and all like that? It was only 10 minutes ago, lad, by your very own wristwatch, which I happened to be wearing as it was lying about loose in your top dresser drawer, and I don't happen to have one myself, it was sold.
Oh, dear, but there's no sales tag on the tree, Uncle Dennis.
And who, may I ask, was stupid enough to dish out good dough for that beetle-bitten hunk of tumbleweed?
'Twas myself.
You?
You? You bought the last Christmas tree in this lot, knowing that we didn't have one?
Now. And how was I to know that a smart gazoo like yourself would be getting caught without a tree? 'Twas a bargain given to me by my good friend Monahan, who is quite a man at singing the camalias, which are a regular feature of Grogan's beefsteak dinners. May they soon be resumed when Hitler, that dirty little house painter, gets his comeuppance and Hito finds our heroes turning on the Hito.
Say, why do you want a Christmas tree, Uncle Dennis? You live with us.
Come on, Unc, sell it to us, will you? What do you say? Whatever you paid for it, I'll toss an extra 2 bits on the drum.
2 bits? That I could not do, lad.
Huh?
'Twas buying this tree for a dear friend I was. And there ain't enough money in the world to make Dennis Driscoll betray a trust. And the very idea is enough to make my old father, may the little people keep his pipe lit for him, look down and say, would you think of making it $2 extra now?
No, I wouldn't.
That's ridiculous.
Very well, you can't blame a man for trying to pick up a couple of bucks. A very Merry Christmas to you. Oh, turn on the turtle, people!
Can you imagine that, my own uncle?
Of all the dirty, low-down tricks, a fine Christmas spirit. Chipping his own family out of the last Christmas tree in town.
You think it really is, dearie?
Well, it might be. Come on, let's look some more. Goodwill toward men. That was a fine sample of it. Here we are with the whole world full of misery, needing friendship and sacrifice more than any time in history, and what happens? We get bopped with a balsam. If that ain't the dirtiest...
Oh, McGee, look.
Huh?
There's the Christmas tree place right there. And there's Alice Darling coming out of it. Yoo-hoo, Alice.
Oh, hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Alice. Don't tell us you're shopping for a Christmas tree, too.
Oh, jeepers, no, Mr. McGee. On account of anybody who was silly enough to wait till now to buy their Christmas tree is simply just too stupid for anything. What are you doing down here?
We're buying a Christmas tree.
Oh, well, that's what I say. It's much better to wait till the last minute when it isn't so crowded and the trees are much fresher or something. When I bought my tree 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago?
If you bought a tree, what'd you do with it, Alice? We didn't see it around the house anyplace. And a pine tree ain't exactly what you might call unobtrusive.
Oh, well, I didn't buy it for me, Mr. McGee, on account of jeepers. I've only got one room, and a girl which she lives in just one room only needs a little piece of mistletoe. You know what that is. That's the ivy that if you don't meet the right people under it, it's poison.
Ah, dear, and if you do, it's the berries.
Why, Molly.
Oh, I just love Christmas time because that's when you can dash up to people and kiss them like it was a sudden impulse. And I've already made out a list of the sweetest men to have sudden impulses about. Oh, that's one nice thing about being a girl. You can be girlish and people don't think anything about it.
Now I know what I forgot to get Alice for Christmas, dearie. Lipstick.
Yeah, that brotherly love stuff is great, ain't it, Alice? Particularly when you run out of brothers.
Well, I don't want that you should get the idea that I simply rush around kissing simply everybody, Mr. McGee, because really I'm a very reserved character. You know, once I was in love with a fellow for 3 years, and he never even held my hands, and then he married another girl.
Oh, who was that, Alice?
Cary Grant. Creepers, I'd like to have met that man. Well, I hope you find a Christmas tree, Mr. McGee. Goodbye now.
Well, shall we give it up, McGee?
No, sir. I started out to get a Christmas tree, and by the curly cotton cover crop of a corner Kris Kringle, I'm going to get a Christmas tree.
Well, you might fly up to Canada and get one, but it would be a lonesome trip.
What you mean?
The other geese won't be flying back for a couple of months yet.
Okay. Scoff if you want to. Be right. But I'm telling you if I...
Merry Christmas, Miss Curry.
Who was that?
Miss Curry.
I'm telling you, Molly, when I set out to get a Christmas tree, by George, I'm... Hey, here's a place on the corner here.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Say, Alice Darling might have told us she was getting one. She could have got us one at the same time.
Well, what do you expect of people? Consideration? It's no wonder they always picture Santa Claus as a fat mug standing there holding the bag. My gosh,
Oh,
people...
look, McGee, this place seems to have plenty of trees.
Yeah, they had plenty last week, too. And the guy that runs this pocket-picking concession thinks no more of a quarter than I do of my left leg. Pocket-picking concession. Pocket-picking papa. That guy wouldn't lend you a match without a 4 cosigner. Hi, bud. Remember me?
Yeah. You were the guy last week that waved a dollar bill at me. And for that, I was supposed to sell you a 12-foot tree, deliver it, trim it, sing 3 Christmas carols, and carve you a turkey.
Listen, we couldn't get a turkey. We're having chicken.
Yeah. We're having turkey. Now, don't take me so literally. Look, Bud, if you have a nice, reasonable price tree, we might...
Yeah, we got only one left.
Better take it quick, dearie.
Not so fast. They like to haggle a little bit. Now, which tree is it, Bud? If it's the right size...
You're leaning on it.
Heavenly days, that one?
You call this broken-down bird sanctuary a Christmas tree? Well, I've seen better trees than that in an old pair of tennis shoes. That moth-eaten bramble looks like it was raised in a cold hothouse.
How much is it, sir?
Much too much, lady. The price is way out of line. If I was you, I'd skip it.
Don't tell me how much I can pay for a tree, Bud. I'm not as poor as I may look.
I hope not, friend. You look like a holdout from a handout.
Well, how much?
$12.
$12? $12 for that sad-looking cedar? Why, that cone carrier's got more broken branches than the Berlin Public Library. And look at those bare limbs. You could sure find a haystack in those needles. And besides, last week you only wanted $9 for the same tree.
Last week the town was full of Christmas trees. And furthermore, Oh, hiya, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello there, Louie. How are you, Molly? Hiya, Fibber.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior. What you looking so happy about?
Who, me? No, I don't know. Just the old Christmas feeling, I guess. I love this time of year, don't you?
Oh, I guess everybody does, Mr. Wilcox. Got your Christmas window shopping all done?
Just about. And I suppose the presents are all piled up at your house.
We stack them on the piano, Junior.
Yeah, and from the looks of the Christmas tree situation, that's where they're going to stay, too.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? It won't hurt anything. Not when anyone keeps the piano and woodwork and lampshades and windowsills and everything protected from scratching and holiday wear and tear like you do with Johnson's wax.
Oh, it's nothing.
You think it's nice, Junior? You think it's nice to be so commercial about Johnson's wax on a holiday like Christmas? You think that's very cool?
This, pal, is Tuesday. Christmas is Saturday. And on Saturday, I say nothing about Johnson's wax. I merely say things like, thank you. And, gee, that's wonderful, but you shouldn't have done it. And, very little ice in mine. And stuff like that.
Well, personally, we've been so upset trying to get a Christmas tree, Mr. Wilcox, that we haven't...
Excuse me, Molly. Hey, Louie, how much is this tree here?
$12, Mr. Wilcox. It ain't worth it, frankly, but it's the last one I got.
I'll take it. Here's $15, and wish yourself a Merry Christmas with the rest of it.
For $3, I can wish myself 6 Merry Christmases. Thanks, Mr. Wilcox.
Hey, wait a minute. I was dickering for that tree myself, Wilcox. Now, looky here, Louie.
To you, friend, the name is Mr. Zambowski. And we can't do no business. The tree is sold.
You see, Mr. Wilcox, we were...
Gee, I wouldn't have had this happen for anything in the world, folks, if I'd only known you wanted it. I thought you were merely friends of Louie here.
He should live so long.
They say a man can't have too many friends, but in your case, Bud, it would be too many. Now, look, Wilcox, we haven't got a Christmas tree, and we were merely trying to decide about...
Believe me, pal, believe me, I'm terribly sorry. To think that I should walk in and grab it right out from under your nose. I ought to be ashamed of myself. I'll take it with me, Louie. Well, I'll see you later, kids. To think that I should pull a shabby trick like that on my best friend.
Well, Paul...
I'm afraid it was your own fault, dearie. You had the first chance at it. Well, Merry Christmas, Mr. Zambowski.
And the same to you, lady.
Come on, McGee.
Standing there like a friend, chatting away as gabby as you please. And all the time. Oh, this hurts.
Oh, heavenly days. We don't have to have a tree, you know. Lots of people don't.
It ain't not having a tree that bothers me. It's the way my friends and relatives undercut and chisel on me. Uncle Dennis, Alice Darling, Harlow Wilcox. Christmas spirit. Where is it? And here when I had a chance to get a beautiful big tree...
That isn't what you told the man it was.
Oh, my gosh, you can't have any fun dickering with guys if you tell them how beautiful their merchandise is. First make a man ashamed to ask the price he's asking, see? And then when you get...
McGee, I think... Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. Kramer.
Who's that?
Mr. Kramer.
What were you saying?
I was about to say that I think the grocery store's about our last chance to get a tree. Might as well look. Just a few doors down, you know.
Oh, my gosh, I never thought of that. Come on. I'm not so sure about buying a tree at the grocery either. Jimmy Sale will probably ask us 8 green points for it.
I don't think it. Look in the window, McGee. They still got a couple. Hurry up now.
These are both sold, and Lady Luck could know what I think of her. She'd forget she was a lady.
Well, one is sold, McGee, but the other still has a price tag on it.
How much?
Let me see. $6.
Oh, boy, that's a deal. I'm going to grab onto this till the clerk gets here, too. Anybody that gets this tree away from me will have to start trimming it with my 2 arms.
Well, as the taxi driver said when Einstein got out of the crowded cab, this is certainly a mind off of my load.
Yes, sir. Next time, maybe you'll believe me when I tell you that I know what I'm talking about.
Hello there, Fibber. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hi, Doc, old man. Happy Yuletide and all stuff like that there.
Why are you hugging the tree, McGee? Just a nature lover, or are you going to climb it and hunt for bird's nests?
Oh, he's just making sure nobody beats him out of it till the clerk gets around to him, Doctor.
Yeah, till this deal is signed, sealed, and delivered, I stick to this trunk like a baggage label. Pretty nice little spruce, eh, Doc? Spruce.
It's not a spruce. Douglas fir. Douglas fir.
I thought it was a balsam.
Might be some kind of a cedar.
Might be some kind of a cypress, too, but it isn't.
You know, my cousin had one of those on his farm near Peoria. We squeezed apples in it every fall.
In what?
A cider press.
Oh. I didn't say cider press. I said cypress.
Oh.
The cypress is a symmetrical evergreen common to the western United States. Very interesting study, that of our non-deciduous trees. The pine tree, like most coniferous trees, is an evergreen, the larch being a conspicuous exception.
Oh, are you an expert on plants and trees, Doctor?
Well, it used to be a hobby of mine, Molly. Botany's a very interesting subject.
Of the two, which do you like best, Doc?
Of which two?
Plants and trees or botany?
Why, they're the same thing, dearie. I had it in high school. In fact, I was the pistol-packing mama of the lily collectors.
I thought maybe Doc knew so much about him because he was a tree surgeon at heart.
No, but if I ever hear of a sap needing a transfusion, I'll know where to come.
Oh, yeah? I'd show you who was a sap if I dared let loose of this tree for a minute.
Oh, now, boy.
One excuse is as good as any, McGee. By embracing that tree, you're probably saving yourself a few very spectacular contusions.
Is that so?
Yes.
Why, you unreasonable facsimile of a male brother. For 2 aspirin tablets...
Now, McGee. Is that any way to talk while hugging a Christmas tree?
No, it isn't, Molly, and it was my fault. Sorry, McGee. No time for quarrels.
Okay, Doc. Well, then, I'm a little hasty myself at times.
Not about buying Christmas trees.
Well, real friends are too scarce to fight with them. In fact, McGee, I retract all the unpleasant things I ever said about you in the past.
Oh, I do too, Doc. I even take back the stuff I thought about you. That's even dirtier than what I said.
Well, now, this is better. You know, Christmas is a time when we should all be friends.
I think so, too. Let bygones be bygones, McGee. Be a pal.
Well, it goes for me, too, Doc. Here, I'd like to shake your hand.
Good. So would I.
Isn't that nice?
Wait till I get untangled from this weeping willow here. Put her there, Doc.
I think this is one of the sweetest things I ever did.
All right, Doc. Let go of my hand.
Wait a minute. Hey, Joe.
Yes, Doctor?
Put that Christmas tree in my car, will you?
What?
Hey, wait a minute. Now, look, Doc.
Pay for it the next time you come in.
Doggone it, Doc. Let go of my hand, will you? You double-crossing double... Doc Gamble! Come back here with that Christmas tree.
Cheer up, McGee. Heavenly Days isn't a Christmas tree that makes Christmas, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's the Christmas spirit. Christmas spirit, blah. All I've seen of it today...
Merry Christmas, Mr. Crockett.
Who was that?
John Crockett from Washington.
Oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Here it is, the season where everybody is supposed to love everybody, so what do? They go around grabbing Christmas trees out of people's hands. The timber thieves. The first guy that says Merry Christmas to me, I'm going to hang up my sock right on his chin. Merry Christmas, bud.
Same to you. Thanks.
Who was that?
Search me. I got as much right to holler at people on the street as you have. Doggone it, if those so-called throat-cutting, sheep-stealing friends of mine knew how bad I wanted that tree, Hey.
What?
What if we string the colored lights on that rubber plant of yours and...
Oh,
no. That's no good. Doggone it, I trust people too much. But not now. Take a good look at your husband, Mrs. McGee. You recognize him?
Why shouldn't I?
Because he just had his faith lifted, that's why. From now on, little Fibber's going to go along looking after little Fibber. Period. As long as everybody's throwing the love your fellow man stuff overboard, I might just as well...
Hi, Mr. McGee. Hi, Miss McGee. Merry Christmas.
Oh, hi, little girl. And if you must yammer out those Yuletide wall mottos, sis, just say, a good December 25th to you. Or season's greetings, sir, or something like that. Skip the Merry Christmases as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, he's a little disappointed. He'll get over it, though.
Yeah, I'll get over this like Dan McGrew got over his lead poisoning. Sis, I'm glad I saw you while you were still young. If you still believe in it...
Hey, mister.
Huh?
Look up on your front porch.
What do you mean, look up on our front porch?
Why, McGee, look, the porch is full of Christmas trees.
Why, what in the...
I've just been reading the tags on them, mister.
Huh?
There's one from Dr. Gamble and one from Mr. Wilcox and Alice Darling and one from Billy Mills, I betcha, and one from Uncle Dennis and one...
Oh, my gosh. You mean they were all buying them trees for us? Well, I never thought... Well, gee whiz, come on. Boy, oh, boy.
Hero.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, my heavenly days. Here's the king's men and everybody. McGee, get out the root beer. I'll get some cookies.
Just a small root beer for me, McGee. I got to operate in the morning.
McGee, can you close your mouth and pull in your eyeballs long enough to thank these people for the Christmas tree?
Well, look, everybody, gee whiz, all I can say is, well, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. McGee.
What do you want, sis?
Look, I got my whole gang here again. Kenny and Bud and Johnny and Reddy and Billy Mills and all the fellas, and we thought maybe it'd be nice to sing that same song we sang last Christmas.
Well, sis, that's a wonderful idea. People have been writing in all year asking us to do that again. So here's The Night Before Christmas, as originally set to music by Ken Darby of the King's Men.
Christmas and all through the house. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all warm in their wee little beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their wee little heads. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap.
Went out on the lawn where a rose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flag, tore open the shutters, threw open the sack. Then, what to my wondering, I should appear but a minute you stay, handing tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick that I knew right away that it must be St. Nick. All bundled in fur from his head to his foot, old Santa was covered with ashes and soot. I drew in my head and was turning around, when down the chimney he came with a pie.
and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow.
The stump of a little old pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke went around and around and around his head like a wreath. He was jumpy and plump, a right jolly old elf. Then I laughed and I laughed and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. He had a broad face, oh ho ho, and a little round belly, oh ho ho, that shook when he laughed, oh ho ho, like a bowl full of jelly. Ho ho, he gave me a wink of his eye and a twist of his head, a chuckle and a smile I knew all the while I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings.
Oh, boy.
Then turned with a jerk, then laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his legs, his teeth gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all those
Oh, is he gone?
Is the night after Christmas and all through the house not a creature is stirring, not even the mouse. The presents are scattered and broken, I fear, and St. Nicholas won't come again for a year. The children are nestled all warm in their wee little beds, while memories of sugar plum dance in their wee little heads. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap are settled at last for a long winter's
Ladies and gentlemen, most of you have brothers and fathers and sons, yes, and maybe daughters in the service, here and overseas.
Yes, so when you write to them next, please tell them they have the sincere and heartfelt wishes for a speedy and safe return and a Merry Christmas from
Fibber, McGee.
and Molly.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Words at War presents Logbook. 1, 2, 3, woof. 1, 2, 3, woof. Got it?
Okay. Balance good. Recording is ready.
We'll start on your signal.
Go ahead in 10 seconds from now.
All right, Jack. Say what you want. Say it how you please. Speak the truth of what you know. Now.
I'm an Englishman, a sailor. My first name is Jack. I'm sitting here with a funny little stump where a perfectly good right foot used to be. The radio people have asked me to tell you what happened. To tell you also what I'm fighting for. Me and others like me. Well, we were torpedoed. Some of us got on a raft. We were lucky. I'd been so badly wounded, I was losing consciousness. But I remember 2 or 3 things. I remember how one man, I'll never know who, held on to me the whole time to keep me from slipping off. I remember McDavid, the second engineer, with a little oar about 3 feet long, smacking away to scare the sharks. I remember lots of things. Yes, and we had plenty of time to think what it was we were fighting for. Plenty.
At War. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with the Council on Books in Wartime, brings you another adaptation of an important war book, Logbook, by Frank Lasquier, British merchant seaman. Lasquier, torpedoed 3 times in this war, lost a leg on the 3rd, and during his convalescence was invited before the microphones of the British Broadcasting Company. The story he told electrified his countrymen. Now Frank Lasquier has written Logbook, a novel that doesn't tell his own life, but a story not unlike it.
I was a tall lad for my years, insignificant member of a large family, and a problem to my parents. My father ran a laundry. A battle, silent, unresting, went on in me.
Come, boy, up to it. This is a laundry I'm trying to run, not a morgue.
Where do these go?
The large bundle of wet wash goes to Mrs. Broadby, and those fresh shirts to McCready's. On your way back, stop at Mrs. Parsons and pick up some dirty linen.
Is that all?
That's all. Oh, Jack.
Yes, Father?
I know what's eating you. It's not because I'm your father that I know, but as a man who sailed the seas and knows the feeling.
Dick's gone to sea. He's working in a tanker. Joe's in a banana boat, and I'm in my father's laundry.
You're a big boy now, Jack. Too big to go moping around like a jilted bride. Because your mother and I are against a sailor's life for you.
But why? You were a sailor. Mother's 3 brothers are all seamen. Why am I, of all the family?
I know the sea. I know that it makes fools of wise men and wiser men of fools. Jack, you're a headstrong lad, and you're likely to pay dearly for what wisdom you may gather. But don't run up too big a bill for yourself.
But, Father...
No, they're waiting for the laundry boy. Hurry it up now.
Way, oh, way upon the salt sea.
My father was gentle. I almost wished he wasn't. I dreamed of being beaten by a cruel parent, of making a desperate escape to a life at sea, to the Jolly Tars and the Spanish Main. My departure, when it came, was more ordinary. Sent one day to take laundry to a ship, I went aboard as ordered, took the money from the chief officer, and surrendered a parcel of clean shirts. On the gangway, picking my way over railway lines, I passed another ship in dry dock. The dockyard gang was taking the balks of timber from the ship's side as the dock filled with water. The gangway hovered loose and flappy, ready to be swung up and inboard, and I passed this scene.
Hey there, you lad.
Yes, sir?
You want a trip to Australia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you 18?
I am.
You got a father or a mother?
No, sir. And I've been on one trip before.
Come on, I'll get you on.
With 6 shillings of stolen laundry money and boundless faith, I started my career at sea.
His father was a laundryman, hullabaloo balay. Hullabaloo balay. His father was a laundryman, and he went off to sea, and he went off to sea.
Gibraltar was passed early one morning, a clean, beautiful sight, with the blue waters of the straits and the whiteness of a Spanish village on one side. Then, port side, I was robbed right and left and gave one bearded, lecherous scoundrel 10 shillings for 4 filthy photographs. Then the canal, the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf. Then Abadan, with the greasy, pervading stench of crude oil. I learned the life of a ship and the life of the ports. And meanwhile, I became impudent and full of my own importance. I didn't care much for work or for the boatswain's watchful eye.
Hey, you.
Yes, sir.
What do you think this is? Look here.
What do I think what is, sir?
Looks like dirt to me. Dirt. When do you scrub this forecastle?
Oh, yes, now.
Don't lie to me or I'll knock it out of you. Now get down and scrub it, you hear? Now.
Yes, sir.
I know your kind. Running away to sea for adventure. You'll not find it. Instead, you'll spend your life running away. And when you finish scrubbing that floor, get some fresh water. And then scrub it again.
And all he did was scrub the deck, hullabaloo belay, hullabaloo balay, with the bosun always at his neck, hullabaloo belay.
Poor bosun. I didn't know anything then about the years of toil behind some of our shipmates, the unending labor, and the wives and mothers at home with struggles of their own. I had it all to learn. But I remember well what bosun got for his years of toil. One day, as I was doing some cleaning on bridge, the sailors were painting ships. I watched the bosun as he was hauled up in a chair to the truck of the foremast. Up he went, his bare arms and shoulders silhouetted against the blue, sunny sky. The little patch of bald on the top of his head gleamed with sweat. Up he went.
Hold it there!
And the sailor below bent the end of the line around the cleat. And then, suddenly, the line slipped. He landed in a soft, huddled heap. There was a thud as his head jerked back and burst on the pipeline. I couldn't move, couldn't take my eyes from that dreadfully pathetic figure as I saw it twist and die below me. The sun beamed on, and the engine chuffed on like a tired old local train. That night, sewn up in white canvas, his body was laid on the poop deck, covered with a flag. They tilted the hatchboard. The body turned one pitiful somersault and landed with a thud in the black waters.
And he sank into the lowland, lowland, lowland. He sank into the lowland sea.
We never mentioned the bosun. Went on. Australia, the Indies, and then back again. And all the time, I became cockier and more sure of myself. I was paid off at Falmouth, got my railway warrant, and left for home. I got there at about 7:15 in the evening. I walked up the little walk to the door, giving a creditable imitation of a sailor's roll, and then burst in. Hello! Anybody home there? Hello, Mother. Hello, Father. Well, I say, isn't anyone going to even say hello?
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Jack. Why haven't you written in all these months?
There she sits and all is still, all alone to cry her fill.
I didn't realize then, until years later, the pain and disappointment I'd caused my parents. I went back to Falmouth, signed on another tanker. Quite the old sea dog now. After all, I was 17. I learned to drink, to fight, to grow a moustache. Then, after 2 more trips, I went back again to my parents. This time they looked so tired and old, I decided to stay a while. I was 20 now. With a beautiful belief in myself, I was ready to take on any sort of job, selling and canvassing. Then, at the park concert, in the intermission, I met a girl. You come to the park often?
Only concert nights. There's something about listening to music outdoors.
Yes, I know what you mean.
It sounds so different out here. Cleaner.
Yes, it does.
That last number was beautiful.
So was she. And so sweetly spoken, I fell in love with her. She taught me all I've ever known about clothes, politeness, and good behavior. I began to have visions of settling down with a nice home and a beautiful wife. I worked harder, trying to sell vacuum cleaners on a commission basis. It was the only job I could get. But I didn't collect any commissions because I couldn't sell my vacuum cleaners. Soon, my funds were gone. The result was a foregone conclusion. Taking my girl out required money. Something had to happen. It was very simply done. I broke into a house, found 15 pounds, and took it. The police were on my track almost at once. I was arrested and taken to a local prison. A horrible place, with long, dark, echoing halls interlaced with steel galleries, gloom and depression, and the filthy, loathsome smell of stopped-up lavatories. The complete negation of everything that is clean and beautiful in life. My mother came to see me. I was dragged out, and in a bare little room, watched over by warders, I sat and looked at my mother.
I brought you some cake, Jack.
Thanks, Mother. From there, I was sent to a reformatory, where I saw all there is of moral degradation. For solace, they let me have books, P.G. Wodehouse stories, about people who had so much money they apparently never had to think about it or about unpaid bills. But I could never escape from my awful little room, the plank bed and the mattress. Hope died. Nothing was left but an automaton wandering aimlessly through life. After 2 years and 3 months, they released me. I went home, was welcomed and forgiven. I saw my girl once as I was striding along the street. She saw me, gave me one tragic look, and passed me by. I looked for a job then, but there weren't any on land, so I went back to sea, surly and nasty, feeling cheated because I couldn't make a go of it on shore. I took to the rule of the fist, spoiling for a fight. I arrived at Kingston, Jamaica, got drunk and rum, was adrift 3 days. At Santa Marta, I repeated the performance in tequila. 3 hours before the ship was due to sail, I was dragged from a cafe in a state that defies description. At Montego Bay, a black discharge was inevitable. I deserted ship. And then, I sank still lower. That ship, going back to England?
Yes, indeed. Want to sign on?
Sure.
I can use it, Rimmer.
Sure.
Discharge book?
No, sir.
Sign here. We sail tonight.
And it's England, fair England, we'll see once again.
That ship was a sailor's Gethsemane. The food from the galley stank. The forecastle was an evil-smelling, festering hole. My bed was a donkey's breakfast with one filthy blanket. The place had the horrifying smell of bugs about it. It permeated the whole ship. It was greasy and dirty, and the heat was terrifying. No refrigerator, one small icebox, not in use. And the food, salt beef with maggots and biscuits with weevil. For the rest of my life, I've had to remember not to tap my bread on the table before eating it. And no free water. The issue was 1/2 bucket a day per man, and no soap. I remember in a cafe in San Pedro, I caught sight of myself in a fly-blown mirror behind the bar. A tall, thin man with a fish belly complexion with ridges of dirt and grease. Then I heard the bartender say,
Hey, you.
What's the matter?
Drink up. Get it down and beat it. We don't encourage no wild bums here.
What shall you do with a drunken sailor? What shall you do with a drunken sailor? What shall you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
In Melbourne, at the Seaman's Mission, I asked the Padre for some money.
I'm sorry, no, son. But of course you could have a bath, if you like.
After the bath, he offered me some clean clothes. We had tea together and talked. Padre, you helped me. I feel different.
I'm glad. Son.
Yes?
Don't jump your ship.
Why not?
She's what you need to straighten you out. Keep on her. Work and try to recapture your love and understanding of beauty. Don't let it get you down.
All on the bowlin', the ship she is a-rollin'. All on the bowlin', we're not licked yet.
That day, I went below and sang at my work. This time I wouldn't run away. I didn't. And at last, in Cardiff, I was paid off and was free. Oh, I wasn't on the right track yet. Not by a long shot. But perhaps I was no longer on the way down. I went home, saw Mother and Father, then shipped out again. Then, in various parts of the world, I began to see there were things going on I hadn't thought much about. I began to see fascism, the effects of it, and it wasn't a pleasant sight. I saw it first in Las Palmas. One lovely spring morning, we tied up there at Mole. I just got to tie up after the second mate and the remainder of the watch. When everything was finished, I stood with the mate and lit a cigarette. What's going on down there, Mr. Mate?
They're hungry.
So's the average sailor.
Oh, but these poor devils are in earnest. Hey, look at that old lady. And look on her quiet eyes. Oh, it's enough to turn your heart, ain't it?
The old lady caught my eye, and the naked appeal in her face sent pity surging through me. I turned around and saw Slush, the cook, coming up from the refrigerator. In his hand, he had a long strip of gristle and skin that is cut from the back of a sheep and is, presumably, no good for eating. The cook came up on deck and slung the refuse into the bin. Then he disappeared into the galley.
Hey, where you going, Jake?
I'm going to get that meat the cook tossed out. Watch. Here you are, old lady. Here.
Good Lord, look at him, dancing and delirious with pleasure. Here, you're not going to give her that.
Of course I am. Wash it off first, though. That's it. There we are. Mother, there we are. Over this way, Mother. Here you are. Here, Mother. This is for you.
Oh, muchas gracias, senor. Dios te contigo. Dios te contigo.
What is happening here? It's nothing, officer. I was only giving my girl here a little present.
Give me that. She does not need that.
Now, wait. Don't give that back to her. Do you hear me?
Why, you stupid foreigners. You...
Hey, Jack, come up here. Quickly. Rush it. Hey, come on.
Hit him on the jaw and get on board. Hit him on the jaw and get on board. Hit him on the jaw and get on board. Early in the morning.
The old lady got her meat. The policeman was out cold. It was looking for me. The ship sailed that night. And came September the 3rd, 1939. I was in a pub at home with Dick, my old boyhood chum, and a couple of other seamen. We were listening to the wireless, and...
Therefore, my countrymen, we are at war. It is evil things we...
Well, that's it, huh? It was coming, we knew it. Well, I'm signing right on again tomorrow morning. The missus and kid won't like it, but I'm going. I'd like to get the ruddy hun in the sights of a dick gun.
I'm with you, Dick. How about you, Jack?
Yes, how about it, Jack?
Don't you listen to him, Jack. What do we owe this country? I'm asking you. Remember the last war and the profiteers? Well, they'll be around again. Why risk your life so that they can get fat on you? Come on, don't be a ruddy fool, Jack.
What about it, Jack?
You can count me in, Dick. I'm with you.
Blow you into the morning, blow you in hi-ho. We're in it all together now, and blow, blow, blow.
Dick and I joined the gun school at Liverpool. We passed the course and got our tickets. I became merchant seaman gunner 9009. We sailed out in separate convoys. Why did I go? I wasn't sure. I just went. What was I fighting for? What was I trying to defend? I didn't really know. Not then. I sailed. I came home 2 or 3 days at a time and sailed out again. On one trip, I found our street very quiet. My friend Dick was dead. I sailed out again. And on one of those trips, as 40-odd ships plunged and bucked along in convoy through the night, and the phosphorus gleamed in the wake of the ships, and I stood on deck at my gun watching, suddenly the world opened up in a blinding flash. Inferno was breaking loose. Bodies fell on the deck in a bloody glow, and suddenly I was thrown halfway across the deck. As I dragged myself to the rail and somehow managed to pull myself over it, I found I didn't have anything, and my right foot used to be.
Midst blood and despair and the groans of the fair and the groans of the fair, over the poor ship's side went he.
Then came the raft, the sharks, the rescue ship, the amputation, then home. From Liverpool, they sent my mother a telegram and brought me on in a car. It was a bright, sunny day. The sky was clear blue, and our own little street was still there, safe and intact. Mother stood in the doorway. She wasn't crying. I got out of the car. I pulled my 2 crutches after me. Mother came to me with her usual short, toddling steps.
Come on in, Jack. Your tea is ready.
Sometime later, a gentleman came to see me.
Jack, dear, this is Mr. Defarge.
How do you do? I'm from the British Broadcasting Company.
Oh. Won't you sit down, please?
Thank you. I heard over in Liverpool that you might have a story to tell. If it's a good story, there might be a fiver in it for you.
A good story?
Yes, it'll be easy. All you have to do is just get to a microphone and talk. Now then, I'll make all the...
So that's the way they think of it.
How do you mean?
A good story. The hours and watching the ghastly raft, the sharks snapping at your legs. And they want a good story.
Well, now, look here. I came here to...
Forgive me if I'm bitter, Mr. Defarge. You get that way, sitting here, staring at 2 crutches, and thinking about your life. So they wanted a story. I'd give them one. After he left, I thought it out. Dear people, I'd say, I'm Jack Fisher. You don't know me. I'm one of the bad boys. Once I was pretty and full of life and hope, but your system sent me to a reformatory. What good did that do to my immortal soul, to learn the ins and outs of crime? You spent £80 a year, dear taxpayers, to keep me there. And when I got out, you spent your time and energy in keeping me from a job. But when the war started, you forgot all about that. It was, arise, British sailors, sail out and bring back our food for us. Don't mind the torpedoes or the dive bombers or the raiders. Please feed us. Okay, we did. We'll fight your war for you. We'll win. But by heaven, there'll be some interesting ceremonies afterwards. We'll win the peace, too. Good night. That's what I thought of saying. I sat in my room in front of the fire, dead, with one leg, crucifying myself. All the frustrations poured like poison into my brain. The fire became water, black water, a deep, dark ocean. Floating in the ocean was a dark body. It seemed to rise, floating gently to the surface, the clothes ballooning grotesquely about it. The head held back, water streaming through eyes and nose and ears. A great jagged gash in the side showed our death had come. The figure was revolving slowly in the water, up and up. I saw that it was Dick. Dick, my friend, looking up at me, his face unmasked.
Have you forgotten about me so soon, Jack? Put me on your ship. I never expected much from life and never had much. What I had, I fought for. From where I am now, I can hear my wife crying every night. My kid is lonely, too. Did you go to war out of bitterness? I didn't. Put me on your ship, Jack. Don't forget your friends. And the bosun. Remember him. And the old lady. The starving old lady. And don't forget the policeman, Jack. And the piece of meat. Remember us all, Jack. And tell them about us. Don't let us down, Jack. And you won't let yourself down.
He sank into the lowland sea.
I felt a great peace then. If I could speak for even a moment for the people, the little people of the earth. So here I am, sitting at this microphone. My leg is a stump. I'm one of many, one of millions. I'm asked to tell you the truth of what I know. Well, I'm a sailor, an Englishman. My first name is Jack. I'm quite an ordinary sort of individual. All we sailors are. We have a job to do, and we do it.
This is the story, and now he's through. Pull, my lads, and we'll pull through. Johnny has gone off to sea. Oh.
As the 28th program of Words at War, we've brought you a dramatization of Logbook by Frank Lasker. The book was adapted for radio by Edmund Burnbrier. The part of Jack was played by Harold Young. The music was adapted and sung by Tom Glazer. William Meader was at the organ. The production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. Next week, Words at War will present an adaptation of The Ninth Commandment by Hendrik Willem van Loon, who will appear in person to tell the story of the rape of Holland. Words at War is brought to you in cooperation with the Council on Books in Wartime by the National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Salute.
Your health, senor. Roma toasts the world. The wine for your table is Roma, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the Man in Black, here for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight in Hollywood, Roma brings you as star Mr. Peter Lorre. The suspense play which stars Mr. Lorre and which is produced and directed by William Spear is called Back for Christmas. In this series,
Roma brings you tales calculated to intrigue you, stir your nerves, to offer you a precarious situation, and then withhold the solution until the last possible moment. And so, with Back for Christmas, and with the performance of Peter Lorre, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride when the windows open. Yes, Monty?
What on earth are you doing down here in the cellar?
Oh, just doing a little digging.
And why, may I ask, have you chosen this day of all days to dig up the cellar floor?
Oh, I thought because the weather has been so damp, this would be a good time to plant that little devil's garden I told you about.
Devil's garden? Whatever nonsense is that?
Don't you remember that was my little joke about it? You see, I've managed to get hold of the spores of several unclassified wild orchids. In their wild state, they bloom under damp masses of leaf mold. The South American Indians call them devil flowers because they appear to bloom under the ground.
Well, I'm sure the South American Indians will be very interested if you succeed in growing these ridiculous flowers under the cellar floor. Whom else it will interest, I can't imagine. Oh, what's that terrible smell?
Oh, that's the leaf mold, chemically identical with the earth blanket they grow under in their wild state. And I want to get these started before we close the house.
Do you realize that we're sailing for America a week from today, and you've made no arrangements whatever? Unless you call digging a hole in the cellar making arrangements. I certainly don't. Devil's garden, indeed. Sometimes I think you're going soft in the head, Hubert.
Oh, I suppose it is inconsiderate of me. You see, I've been wanting to try this experiment for a long time, but with all those lectures and seminars at the university, there never seemed to be enough time.
Well, there certainly isn't any time for it now. I suppose you've forgotten I made an appointment for you at the barber's this afternoon.
Oh, must I shave my beard off, Hermione?
I thought we'd been through all that. Of course you must. They don't wear beards in America. Bad enough you're speaking with that accent. They'll probably think we're Germans as it is.
Oh, I should think it would be quite easy just to explain it. I'm Swiss.
Now, Hubert, don't be argumentative. Go and get your jacket on and do as I tell you.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't forget to take your umbrella. It looks like rain.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't look so put upon, Hubert. Someone has to plan things in this house. Never even get to the university in time for your lectures, much less make arrangements for a trip to America.
I know, but what about my specimens?
There'll be plenty of time to plant your precious devil's garden when we get home from America. We're not going to be gone forever, you know. We'll be back here for Christmas.
Yes, of course. Back for Christmas. I'd forgotten.
We'll try to remember it. And if you can't do that, just do as I tell you. I've been making the plans in this house for 20 years. And if there's any digging to be done, I'll manage that as well. You understand, Hubert?
Yes, Hermione.
Good. Now, you have just 20 minutes to clean up this mess down here and keep your appointment at the barber's. And when you're finished there, I want you to come straight home.
All right. I wanted to stop at Miss Markham's and pick up some books I ordered.
Well, all right. But don't loiter there the whole afternoon mulling over those old books the way you usually do. Now, hurry and clear up this rubbish. Get rid of that smelly stuff. And no more digging, mind you.
No more digging. I'll show her. I'll have my devil's garden, and if no more digging, eh? No more digging. Oh, 15 men are Dutchmen. Just you and a bustle.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Miss Markham.
Why, it is Professor Schumacher, isn't it?
Do you like me better this way?
You look ever so much younger without the beard. 20 years at least.
20 years.
Oh, you'll be glad to know those books you ordered have finally arrived.
20... Oh, yes, the books.
Let me see. The Phytotomy of Phalloid Gametophytes and Coniferous Shrubs of North America. Those are the ones you ordered, aren't they?
Yes, thank you. You're very kind, Miss Markham.
Why kind, Professor Schumacher?
Well, not many young ladies in bookshops would go out of their way to look up rare books for an old professor of botany.
Why, you're not old, Professor Schumacher. Really, you look...
What do I look like?
And besides, I adore botany. It's my particular hobby.
Oh, really? You've never told me that before, Miss Markham.
Well, I was afraid to. You looked so imposing with the beard and all.
Miss Markham, forgive me if this sounds foolish, but since talking with you today, I feel that shaving off my beard is the most important thing I've done for 20 years.
Oh, it is? I'm sure it is.
20.
I'm so sorry that I've been so distant with you all this time. Oh, there were times when I almost spoke up. Times when you came in here tired after a day with your students at the university. You seemed so alone. The way I'm alone in the world. I'd like to have asked you to stay a while and talk with me, but some way or other I always wound up giving you your change and letting you go on your way.
Say, you're alone in the world?
Since my father died.
Oh, Miss Markham, did you never think of marrying?
My father was a very remarkable man. I never found anyone who seemed to measure up to what he led me to expect of men.
Miss Markham...
Oh, it's been so long since anyone called me by my first name. I'd like you to, if you want to. It's Marion.
Marion? Oh, nice.
And yours?
Well, Hubertus. but in English, Hubert sounds better, huh?
How long have you been alone, Hubert?
Alone?
I knew you were a widower, of course. The first time I saw you.
A widower?
I can always tell. There's a certain sadness in a man's eyes. A sweet sadness, I think, when he's been married and then lost...
A widower. I never thought of it in quite that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been talking like this, I suppose, but I've often wondered what she must have been like. Your wife, I mean.
Hermione? Not an easy woman to forget. Very strong. Always managing things. The house, my wardrobe, my friends. Even when we dined at a restaurant, she even then ordered my food. She was always managing things. Her whole life. Managed herself to death.
Poor woman. She must have loved you very much. But she needn't have put herself out so. It's plain to see you don't need things managed for you.
No.
You need companionship, I think. Someone sympathetic with your work. But the last thing on earth you need is a manager.
How well you put it. The last thing on earth.
Operator, are you there? I'm still waiting on that call to Salisbury. Well, put them on quickly. Hello. Is this Paul Holt and Sons? It's Mrs. Hubert Schumacher. Did you receive my letter? Good. Now remember, we'll be back for Christmas and I want the job done without fail. What's that? No, I'm sure he doesn't suspect anything. Send it to me in New York as I instructed you, addressed in my name, of course. Yes. I've already put them in the mail. You'll get them tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, here you are, Hubert. Where have you been?
Oh, backstairs. I dismissed the servants.
Dismissed the servants?
Mm-hmm.
But I've asked some friends of mine into a farewell luncheon. Go and tell them it's a mistake.
I'm afraid it's too late now. They've packed and gone.
You have messed things up properly. How many times have I told you to leave things to me? I make the plans around here.
Yes, Hermione.
You have to do better than this when I plan the trip home, or we'll never in the world be back for Christmas.
Back for Christmas. Back for Christmas. Must you keep saying that?
Why not? We are coming back for Christmas, aren't we?
Well, supposing I were offered a professorship in one of those wealthy American universities.
Nonsense. Americans care nothing for botany.
Well, Luther Burbank was an American, wasn't he?
That's different. What have you ever done except muck around in the dirt with a lot of roots and tubers?
Well, they asked me to lecture, didn't they?
All right. Now, there's no use getting yourself in a state about this, Hubert. No doubt this extra money will come in very handy when we arrive back
for Christmas.
Precisely. No good to make a joke of it. Heaven knows where you'd be today if I hadn't got a sense of time.
Yes, Hermione.
And as you've been so foolish as to dismiss the servants, you may empty the ashtrays and straighten up this room while we're waiting for the guests to arrive. I'm going in to have my bath. Call me when they get here.
Marion? It's Hubert. No, darling, no, nothing is wrong. Oh, my plans are the same, unless you have changed. No? Oh, we'll meet in New York then and be married there. Huh? Oh, I'll explain to you why later. You just have to trust me. Yes. Yes, my darling.
Hubert?
I'm so sorry I can't talk any longer. Yes, I'll meet you in New York. Without fail. Auf Wiedersehen, mein Liebchen.
Hubert, were you talking on the phone just now?
Yes, Hermione.
Whoever was it?
Oh, Freddie Sinker.
But didn't I hear you say something about meeting somebody in New York?
Why, Freddie said he might possibly get over there before we even leave. And I said, of course, we'd meet him there if he decided to go.
That seems very peculiar. But then all of your friends are peculiar.
Yes, Hermione.
And just look at your jacket. Have you been digging in that cellar again?
Yes, Hermione.
Well, there's no need for it. You can't possibly get that Devil's Garden thing finished before we sail for America. Go and change your clothes before the guests arrive. Oh, never mind. I see somebody coming up the walk now. Go and let them in.
Yes.
Hubert.
Yes?
Look out the window. There's Professor and Mrs. Goodenough, but who's that with them?
Well, who...
Precisely. Freddie Sinclair. Peculiar you should have been talking to him on the phone not 3 minutes ago, and now here he is.
Yes, isn't it? But then, as you see, Hermione, all of my friends are peculiar.
Not half so peculiar as you. Digging in the cellar the very day we leave for America. Just look at yourself. And now that I think of it...
Yes?
Oh, never mind. Go and let them in.
Oh, you were going to ask me something, Hermione, about the hole I'm digging in a cellar.
Good heavens, stop rolling your eyes about that way. One would think you were digging a grave down there instead of a storage bin.
Yes, Hermione.
What's that?
I said yes, Hermione.
Father, open the door and please stop saying yes, Hermione.
I think, my dear, I have said it for the last time.
A professor of botany, his loving wife, and an oblong pit in the cellar. Just the right size for his botanical specimens, his Devil's Garden. With these ingredients for a story of a perfect crime, Back for Christmas by John Collier and starring Peter Lorre, the Roma Wine Company closes the curtain for a moment on another breathless study in suspense.
In this brief intermission in the play, it's pleasant to think about the holidays. Not everyone celebrates the holidays against a background of snow and pine trees. Somewhere south of the Gulf and the Caribbean, in a gracious home surrounded by palm trees in the warm sun, you might find holiday dinners ending this way.
One moment, please. Our North American guest wishes to propose a toast.
Yes, mis amigos. I drink a toast in gratitude to you for your gracious hospitality and the enjoyment you've given me, an American so far from home.
It is only a fair exchange, my friend. This wine in which you drink your toast, it brings enjoyment to us from your country, from America. It is Roma wine, made in your own California.
Yes, and when you choose the wine for your holiday table, remember this. Only a few wines are so fine that many countries of the world import them. And among these greatly enjoyable wines are the wines of Roma, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Yet here in America we are truly fortunate, for we may buy Roma wines at a very low cost, since we don't have to pay import duty or costly shipping charges. So serve Roma wine with pride on any and all holiday occasions. Serve Roma, too, for everyday dinners. You can afford to. Ask your dealer tomorrow for your favorite Roma wine, America's largest selling wine. But before you buy wine, buy war bonds.
And now it is with pleasure that we bring back to our sound stage Mr. Peter Lorre in Act 2 of Back for Christmas. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
For Christmas. Hermione was so positive we would be back for Christmas. That last afternoon, pouring tea out for a few friends who had come in to say her last-minute farewells, she kept reiterating it
Now, mind you, Hermione, don't let those Americans know your husband was one of their fat university jobs. We absolutely must have you with us for Christmas.
He shall be back, I promise you.
Well, it's not absolutely certain, of course.
Hubert, now, what do you mean it's not certain? Of course it's certain.
After all, Hubert, old boy, you've contracted to lecture for only 3 months.
Oh, that's quite right. But then, of course, anything may happen.
Hubert adores being unpredictable. Now, what other man would decide the very day, mind you, before leaving for America, to dig a great hole in the floor of the cellar?
In the cellar?
Yes. He's going to put some unclassified wild orchids down there. A devil's garden, if you please. It sounds so mysterious. That's Hubert, though. It's really quite simple, however, once you find out what he's up to. Now, take that telephone call he put through to you a few minutes ago, Frederick.
Me?
Of course. And Hubert wanted to surprise me about your plan to meet us in New York next month. Wasn't that why he called? To ask you not to mention it?
My dear Hermione, Hubert couldn't possibly have telephoned me within the past hour. I've been walking in the park since 3.
He didn't telephone you?
Well, how could he? As for my going to America...
No. Come, Freddie, come. You may as well confess. Hermione has just found me out again.
But Hubert, old chap, I really
You see what a poor liar Hubert makes. He's red as a beetroot.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Professor? Stringing poor Hermione along like that. And as for you, Freddie, I'm furious you said nothing to us about going to America.
But look here, old girl. I've been trying to tell everyone here that I'm...
Stuff and nonsense. The game's gone on long enough. Besides, we must start getting ready. Now, it was marvelous of all of you to come in to say goodbye. And don't worry about Hubert's little jokes. I will bring him back for Christmas. You may rely on it.
They all believed her. For years, she had been promising me for dinner parties, garden parties, committees, and the promises had always been kept. This time, they would not be. I had seen to that. The servants were gone for good. The farewells all said. I timed to the minute how long it would take to fill in a hole in the cellar. My devil's garden. Upstairs in a bedroom, I undressed and put on my old bathrobe, and then I opened the door into Hermione's room. Oh, Hermione, have you a moment to spare?
Of course, dear. I'm just finished.
Oh, then, will you come in here for a moment, please? There's something rather extraordinary here.
Oh, good heavens, Hubert. What are you lounging about in that filthy old bathrobe for? I told you to put it into the furnace.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it today. Yes, really, I will.
Well, high time. Now, what is it you want to show me?
Oh, here, in the bathroom. Just look, who in the world do you suppose dropped a gold chain down the bathtub drain?
Nobody has, of course. Nobody wears such a thing.
Then what is it doing in here?
I don't see anything.
Well, look. I'll hold this flashlight here for you. If you lean right over, you can see it shining. It's deep down.
Oh, such a lot of nonsense. Just as well. Well, I don't see it, Hubert.
Go on looking, Hermione, in just a moment.
Hubert, I absolutely refuse it. Hubert, what are you doing? Take your hands off my neck.
I will, Hermione. Just as soon as I've finished the arrangements for my trip to America.
What are you talking about?
You thought you were the only one who could plan things, didn't you? Didn't you, Hermione, huh? Well, I've been making some plans of my own this past week. In exactly 2 minutes and 16 seconds, you'll be dead. You see? You see, I planned it very accurately.
You'll never get away with it.
Oh, I thought you would say that, Hermione, but I will get away with it. You won't mind the smell of the leaf mold down in the cellar when I take you down there today? Yes, that is where you are going, Hermione. Right into my devil's garden that annoyed you so much.
My friends all expect me back for Christmas.
They do.
If they don't hear from me, they'll start asking questions.
No, they won't. Because you'll write them letters, Hermione, on a typewriter, as you always do. They'll be signed H, in that neat, correcting way you always sign your notes to your friends.
Here, let me up now.
No!
It won't work, Hubert. You were never any good at planning.
Oh, but I have changed. I've learned from watching you all these years.
The lecture people in America. They'll expect you to be traveling with your wife.
I will be traveling with my wife, but not my present wife, Hermione.
Hubert! It won't work, I tell you. That pit you dug in the cellar?
Oh, it will work. It'll serve its purpose well.
Hubert!
No, I'm sorry, dear. This thing has to be done exactly as planned. You have just 5 seconds to say your prayers.
Hubert! You must listen. The cellar! Don't do it, Hubert!
Steward?
Yes, sir?
Oh, my wife, she's indisposed. She'll be taking her meals in our stateroom.
For the whole voyage, sir?
Yes, for the whole voyage.
I trust your wife is feeling better this morning, Professor Schumacher.
A little. Not yet well enough to leave her cabin.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, Professor Schumacher.
Yes?
Here's a copy of the radiogram you sent for your wife last evening.
Oh, thank you. I'll just check it over. Oh, but look here.
What? What's the matter? Did the typist make a mistake?
No. It's nothing important. She can correct it later. For a moment, I had a feeling that Hermione had been leaning over my shoulder again, correcting what I had written as she always did. I had written a radiogram to Professor Goodenough and his wife. Haven't been out of my cabin the whole beastly trip, Hubert. Well, now Doubt will be back for Christmas. But the operator had left out the W, and it read, "No Doubt will be back for Christmas." Exactly what Hermione would have written. Well, the rest of the trip was uneventful. Marion and I met in New York just as we had planned. Just as we had planned. Professor and Mrs. Schumacher, we have reservations, I believe.
Oh, yes, we've been expecting you, sir. Boy, take Professor and Mrs. Schumacher's luggage up to their suite. You know, Mrs. Schumacher, you're quite a surprise.
Oh?
Your letter reserving the rooms was so thorough, I was expecting an older, more forbidding sort of person, frankly, ma'am.
No. As a matter of fact, we're just married, but my letter reserving the room.
Oh, I wrote the letter, my dear, and I signed it Mrs. Hubert Schumacher. Just a joke.
What a cunning old fox you are, Hubert.
Now that I think of it,
I almost forgot. There's a letter for you, Mrs. Schumacher.
That's peculiar. I wonder who on earth...
Oh, well, we'll soon find out in good time. Come along, darling. Oh, we are keeping the boy waiting. Come. Nothing like a cold, brisk shower to put a man to rights.
Hubert, this letter.
Oh, yes, the letter. Oh, dry my hair, will you, darling? Please.
It seems to be a bill of some sort from a building contractor in Salisbury.
Oh, really?
Oh, bother, dry your own hair.
Well, thank you, darling. Let's see this bill, or whatever it is.
It's very puzzling. Hubert, you were a widower, weren't you? I mean, Hermione isn't still alive.
Good heavens, no. Well, let me read that. Dear Madame, this is to acknowledge your order together with the keys to your house in Launceston Place. Our man had no difficulty in finding the place where your husband had begun the excavation in the cellar, but apparently he changed his mind at the last moment and filled it in again.
What is it, Hubert?
Our man will begin digging tomorrow, and the job will be completed in ample time for your surprise Christmas present to your husband. We are happy to be conspirators with you in this thoughtful gesture and hope that Professor Schumacher will be pleased at the results of our work on his Devil's Garden. Very truly yours, Paul Holt Sons Contractors.
What does it mean, Hubert?
Means that Hermione was right. I will be back for Christmas. I will be back for Christmas.
But we'll back for Christmas! Back for Christmas! Yes! Hermione!
And so closes Back for Christmas, starring Mr. Peter Lorre. Tonight's tale of Suspense.
In just a moment, we shall hear again from Mr. Lorre. But first, just a word that seems appropriate. One of the world's oldest customs is the Christmas toast. And traditionally, down through centuries of war and peace, the Christmas toast has been drunk in wine. This year, when the glasses are filled and raised once again, we know that in every home the toast will be to a speedy victory and a speedy return of those we love. And before we set the wine glasses down, let us all resolve to do everything within our power to help make that toast come true. Let us resolve to help supply the weapons of war by buying even more and more war bonds. Let us resolve to face our own inconveniences without complaining. And above all, let us resolve that when this war is at last over, each of us will exert all our effort to see that future Christmases truly express peace on earth, goodwill to men. This thought, together with our very best wishes of the season, is the Roma Wine Company's Christmas message for you, its friends, here in America and throughout the world.
This is Peter Lorre. Thank you for listening to our suspense play this evening, and I know you're looking forward to next week's show as I am. It is called Finishing School, and its subtitle might be the famous quotation, "The female of the species is more deadly than the male."
Don't forget, then, next Thursday, same time, for Margot, Elsa Lanchester, Janet Beecher, and a distinguished all-feminine cast in Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.